This is the Mountainside Podcast, and joining us back in studio for this episode is fan favorite and new BKFC champion, Chris Camozzi, is in studio with the strap, and I'm super excited for his upcoming reign as a bare knuckle champion. But above all that, Chris is one of my favorite people to hang out with in or outside the studio. Chris is a great friend. I always enjoy any time I get to spend with him, championship status or not, but I'll take the well-deserved champion. This was a great episode, and I hope you enjoy our conversation. You ready to rock this shit?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
I thought we were going.
We are, maybe. Maybe we started.
Yeah.
Dude, congratulations on the fucking win, dude.
Oh, thank you.
First round knockout. No questions to be brought up.
Such a relief.
Championship status. Dude, I'm so stoked for you. Like, I'm just pumped.
Man, thank you. I'm pumped, too. It couldn't have gone any better. Like, I couldn't have planned it better. At home here in Denver, I don't think I got touched. Because everybody's like, did he hit you? And I was like, I don't think so. Like, I felt like maybe I had some kind of bruise, but not any. Like, if I have to think about it, I obviously.
Dude, I've watched it like 6 times. I don't think he did. He might have grazed you a couple times, but that right hand was money.
Yeah, we worked
just
that
guard down.
too.
You know, like that was fucking awesome.
I know. That'll probably go down as like the best night of my career for sure.
Well, it's got to be, right? I mean, championship status.
I mean, I can't say it's going to be because I hope there's bigger nights, but.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go. I noticed Lorenzo was there in the crowd too.
Yeah, he came in the locker room before I fought. Yeah.
Right on.
It was weird. He's a strange dude. I mean, we get along. You've seen in person. We've been to the bar and everything. And then he walked in the locker room, I don't know, probably like 3 or 4 fights before, like poked his head in and was looking. So just like nodded at him. He came over and he was just like rooting for you and then walked out.
That's it?
Yeah. But I think everybody else felt more awkward than I did or than he did.
Yeah.
It was like went dead silent. And of course he came walking in with the belts and everything. I can't do that. I can't carry that thing around. And
yeah, why is he still carrying it around if it like
sometimes that's all you got.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I thought a lot about it, and I was like, man, you know, I always wanted to be world champion. I wanted the belts. I wanted all the, like, flashy stuff. And then I'm like, I've been thinking about it, and I'm not a flashy person. I don't really bring it anywhere. I can't imagine carrying it everywhere I go.
Right.
You know?
Like, oh, shit, I got to get this out of the trunk of the car. Where do I put this thing when I got to take a piss? Like,
yeah, I've forgotten it. I've forgotten it places already. Like,
oh, yeah. Dude, I've forgotten kids' places, bro. Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's a trophy, too.
Yeah.
That's like the real title belt.
You're right.
It's stuck with you for life.
Oh, man. Yeah, dude. It's crazy. I just think that sport is so nuts comparative to like any sort of like sanctioned boxing. Well, it is sanctioned boxing, but it's bare knuckle, right? Like,
yeah,
it's just wild. Why? I guess to bring it back, because we've never really talked about it, but why did you pick bare knuckle, or why was that out of all the organizations, the kickboxing, everything? Was it just something that was appealing? Or was it like a timing type thing in the career? Or did you see the trajectory of it? Because, I mean, really, you've helped grow that BKFC to what it is, I think.
Yeah, I would say locally at least. I don't know about worldwide, but I think I helped it grow locally. I don't have a philosophical answer for that. The real answer is just money and timing. Where I was at in my career, and then they pay well. So that was about it. There's not really like a deeper meaning to it. When I was a fan of BKFC, probably, I think I was still in the UFC. But I was like, okay, like this is cool. It's exciting. It's fun to watch. And then I had talked with BKFC back in, God, I don't know, years ago, like when they were first starting. And then we just weren't anywhere close on money because I was like, well, one, I came out of the UFC and I was making great money every fight. And then I was like, well, to do bare knuckle, and then it's this, like I could fight locally or I could fight wherever. I could find MMA fights that'll pay me more. So I didn't necessarily help grow the sport because I waited. Then it got better. Then they made another offer.
I think you hit it at just the right time. I mean, I didn't really know much about it until you started fighting in it and me knowing you and stuff, like I'd heard about it, but there was nothing that was like, oh, this is appealing to me. And then, God, that first one that I went to, it wasn't your first bare knuckle, but I think it was the second fight where it was Mike Perry, Rockhold.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was just a star-studded card.
That card was awesome.
Blew it up.
Yeah, that card was awesome. And I feel like they pulled back a little bit on this last Denver card. We talked about it because we were like, man, what's the deal with the card? Even the guys at the gym, you know, Gertz and Marcus. We talked about it because we were like, man, are they coasting a little bit? You know, I don't want to give shit to BKFC, but some of the fights were mismatches, which you saw happen.
Mm-hmm.
And but the Perry Rockhold card, you know, that was competitive fight, like all the way down. And that was their first pay-per-view too, which I think that shows a lot if a company's willing to do a pay-per-view for the first time. Because, I mean, you can lose everything on that. You know, you get 100 pay-per-views or something. That's bad.
Yeah.
So they took a chance and they did it. And from my understanding, and this isn't like verified through BKFC or anything, but from my understanding, they killed it on pay-per-views. Well, essentially would have. But then there was a lot of illegal streaming.
There's so much of that now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why the UFC, like, kind of how this whole Tyson thing went down. I want to ask your opinion on that here in a minute. But before we dive off into that, you know, like being on Netflix or something, everybody wanted. That's why they had 65 million viewers and it fucking crashed Netflix, right? Like,
I know. That's
it's
insane.
like if the UFC would just do $20 fights, it would eliminate all the piracy shit, because not that I've ever done it, but if you do, it's a pain in the ass, dude. You get kicked off and then you got to go back in, and then you're trying to watch it with like everybody, and next thing you know, you're on a porn site, like
buffering,
yeah.
You know, you're like,
or it'll be right in the middle of like the second round of like a, you know, Poeton and somebody or whatever, and it just cuts out, and then you're like, fuck, I gotta log back in and all this sort of shit, you know?
Yeah, I think
I know way too much about it for not ever using it.
He's like, that's what I heard. Allegedly. Yeah, don't say it too loud, because the UFC has an entire room of people at the office that hunt down piracy.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to it.
Yeah.
A bunch of cubicles, a bunch of nerds
I think we've gotten a couple of emails that I've ignored just for reusing content, and I'm just like,
well, oh, yeah.
Like, I'm a small fish, dude.
Dude, they flagged my content, like,
really?
Yeah, on Instagram and stuff.
Your own content?
It'll be me fighting,
wow.
And then I'll get hit with a copyright thing. And
like,
then
motherfucker, it's me.
I know, I've disputed it before, and I'm like, that's me in the photo, and then the response is still flagged, and you don't own the rights to it.
Yeah.
So
YouTube gets us, like, the moment that we like
show a YouTube.
If we go full screen, there's some ways around it, but if we go full screen on this thing to watch a fight, it gets flagged every time for copyright.
Yeah,
I'm like, shit.
I probably shouldn't say, but I found the way around it is if you don't put the sound.
Okay.
I don't know if that's an algorithm that hunts the sound.
Yeah.
So if I do, like on Instagram, post, you know, a video of me fighting in the UFC or something, and I take the commentary and sound out and put music, it doesn't get hit.
Right.
Yeah. There you go. You're welcome.
All right.
Until that gets
noted,
shut down.
Jeremy.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but that was the weirdest thing for me at one point, because I was like, flipping out at home at one point. Like, what? You're going to flag me for this? Like, that's me. But it is true. Like,
I mean, they have the rights to it all, right? So, like, if they're showing, like, a playback of the UFC of 100 years or whatever, that 25-year anniversary, and they cut to a Chris Camozzi clip, you're not getting a royalty check, right? Like,
no. Yeah, they own the likeness and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. There's a class action lawsuit going on right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's been going on for years against the UFC. I think. I think they just settled on like $379 million or something.
You gonna get a piece of that, or
supposed to?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been like active in it, but
right.
I mean, we'll see. Basically, the years that they're going after on the revenue split are my entire 20 fights in the UFC. So
really,
hopefully, I get a fat check in the mail.
Like, gosh, shit, I can pay off the house now.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's crazy, man. It's wild how big the UFC is now, man. It's just night and day. Not that it has never not been big, but just the level that it's at now, like the whole Sphere show. I worked a little bit behind the scenes on that. It was it was a culmination between the Eagles were doing a residency and then the UFC, and they spent millions of dollars on overnights and guys climbing in the rafter. It took 3 guys to hang one little light behind the video wall because they had to hang it in between. So there's a video wall on the outside, there's a video wall on the inside.
Yeah, and they don't want like everything hanging down.
Yeah, it was all like rope access guys and stuff. But God, that was a fucking crazy production.
I'm surprised only 3 guys for one light, you're saying.
For one light, yeah. So a team of like probably 30, 35.
So were you in charge of, because you were working for the Eagles?
I was working for the lighting vendor that rented the lights to the UFC and then to the Sphere, basically.
So you had to make sure it just went back, or did you have to help the UFC with the setup?
The install.
Oh,
the
okay.
install portion, yeah.
Man. Yeah, that was a cool show. And I was pumped Marab on.
Yeah.
And like, what a crazy... I haven't been to the Sphere yet, but it looks amazing.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool, man. But to have the fights there, the way that they did it, I was like, what are they going to do that's going to be like better, you know? Like, they're just going to put the fight on the Sphere and the guys look fucking giant. But the way that they did like the whole intro and like the Mexican heritage and all that sort of stuff was fucking cool. They picked the right time to do it and the right content for sure.
Yeah, what was the point of the Mexican heritage thing though? Because it wasn't on like Cinco de Mayo, right? It was
Mexican. Was it? Look up.
I couldn't piece
UFC
it together.
3.
Because it wasn't like
some
Brandon
sort of holiday
fighting or like.
I know, that's why I wanted to see those guys like on the card, man.
I was thinking it would be like some Mexican descent, like fighters or
Yeah.
something, but it's strange. You took a guy from Georgia and Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, they had a guy from Jamaica on the card at one point. Like,
Yeah.
for the main fight, for sure. Yeah.
I kept hearing that it was, all right, so.
Yeah, it should have been like a Brandon Moreno or a, you know, Brandon Royval, or there's so many Mexican fighters, man.
Yeah, because even like, what does it say? Octagon Girls, outfits representing different regions.
Yeah, they had like a whole Day of the Dead deal. But what was the holiday?
Yeah, was it an actual holiday?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm really bad at this shit.
I should have looked it up because I wondered, but I didn't wonder enough to actually look it up.
Day of the Dead and the meaning behind that is such a cool holiday, though, I think, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, we don't have any sort of holidays like that in Western culture, you know? Like, it's not.
We got Halloween.
Yeah, but it's not like remembering the dead or loved ones and like the whole meal offering. And it's like.
Nobody knows the meaning of Halloween. I don't think I do either. You just dress up.
And get some fucking candy, dog.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, it was Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, Smashing Pumpkins.
Great band, by the way, too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love Smashing Pumpkins.
It's
crazy.
not saying anything on.
I don't know. I thought it was a
why
holiday.
They did it.
That's what I mean. I think
They
the
just
UFC
said it was like a love letter to Mexico.
The UFC is like, we're just going to start our own holiday. It wouldn't surprise me.
Maybe it was something to honor. I mean, there's so many great fighters that come out of Mexico, and
I know, but you think they would have
Cuba,
stacked the card with them?
I know that's
what I couldn't piece together. Like, what's the connection between like Mexico, the Sphere, the UFC,
right.
other than the promotional stuff?
Yeah,
because I know
and
Brandon
the original card was crazy. It was like Connor was on it and Chandler, and it was never like a. But yeah, Brandon should have been on that for sure.
Yeah, I know Brandon was mad that he wasn't on it.
Yeah, how could you not be?
Yeah,
I'm excited for him to get another shot.
Yeah, I hope he's next. I don't think he's heard anything yet, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Brandon Moreno. I know there's a bunch more, but
there's so many.
Yeah, I don't know, but what a cool show! Like fighting at the Sphere, even watching it on TV.
It was incredible. Yeah, that's all I saw. I mean,
did it live up to the hype when you were there? Like, did you get to see a live?
No,
show
I
there?
didn't see any of the. I was there well before, like they actually moved in the octagon or any of that shit, or did put, were testing any of the content or anything like that. So,
have you seen any show there?
Yeah. So let's see here. I was there for F1. I did a show there for Formula One. Yeah,
that would be cool too.
Not this year. They're actually loading it in right now. I told them no. this year. It was such a pain in the ass last year. And then I went to they had like a nature show. It was like a wildlife thing, but it was like African wildlife. That was fucking cool.
See, I'd be into that.
Yeah, it was like $70 or something. Well worth the ticket price, man. Like, there's not a bad seat in that place.
No.
For something like that.
Is it on the ceiling too?
Yeah.
Like if you're looking up?
Yep. And then the Grateful Dead were in there. I didn't go to that.
Oh, I bet that place stunk when they were there.
Fuck was U2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
U2's
U2 like
everywhere.
opened it.
I don't know anybody that listens to U2, but they're everywhere.
Not a fan, but yeah.
What
Crazy.
iPhone was that when you bought it? You automatically got
It's still on my fucking iPhone, dude. I'm going through music, and if like I just randomly put on shit that I've liked or downloaded, like that shit will pop up. And the album cover is crazy too. It's like two dudes hugging or something, dude. Like
Talk about shoving it down your throat. Like, here, you're getting this for free, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah,
you can't even delete it.
you can't.
I know.
It's there for fucking.
I think it's on mine too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. The African safari on there.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's definitely worth. If you're in Vegas, it's worth the trip, man. Or whoever's there.
I know. Are they doing like Cirque du Soleil and stuff there now?
I don't know what all is going on there. I think the UFC is.
Holy shit, this is crazy.
The UFC was the first televised event.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, first televised, huh?
I think that's why they spent so much money. So the UFC put in like, I can't remember how many millions of dollars.
Look at
The
that.
Sphere chipped in. Yeah, it's dope.
Talk about taking some mushrooms or acid and like going to a show.
There's so many people,
I'll
dude.
probably go running out.
It was funny because I got to know a bunch of the guys that like work there full time, and the medical staff is just like, yeah, it's fucking constant. They have falconers, like 3 full-time falconers that are outside that are just like mercenaries for pigeons and squirrels and shit that want to like live and nest on the outside of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like that's their full-time job?
It's their full-time job. Like they just walk around with a falcon and then it comes back with,
What a badass job.
yeah.
Like, what do you do? I'm a falconer,
Falconer.
for the sphere. What do you mean?
Crazy.
My falcon kills all the birds.
I've told this story before, but when we were there doing F1, I hired this, like, I was doing all the rigging for the lighting portions, like, around the entire track. So you couldn't, like, drive a golf cart or anything on the track. So I had, like, a beach cruiser, and this dude that I hired had this little electric, like, scooter thing. I was like, I'm not riding that thing. It's fucking gay.
You didn't
No
wanna get
disrespect, Sean.
You didn't want to get behind him and hold on to his hips?
But this dude has a beard that comes down to, like, his belly button.
Oh, you
right?
could have wrapped around and held his beard.
So when he rides, it would part. So we're going into the Sphere for the first time, like in the middle of the day to go check it out because the staging people were in there building some shit that we were going to hang stuff on. And he's coming in, we're coming in hot because we had a lot of shit to do, but his beard just was parting, right? And all of a sudden this falcon comes out of fucking nowhere, like talons out and everything, and almost like took off his face, dude.
It was going after his beard, or
It was
what?
going after his beard. I think the falcon thought it was like a pigeon.
Oh, that's the day I
So he's
decided to
like-
shave it.
Sean's like this gruff, old, salty dude, and he's like, oh, fuck, like screaming like a girl, right? Like almost wrecks. And then he almost gets in a fight with the falconer because the guy's like, hey, don't swing at my bird or some shit.
Yeah.
He's like, control your fucking falcon. It was just the funniest moment.
Those birds are
Yeah.
terrifying.
Oh, my God, dude.
When I was in Qatar, funny story. It was right after I fought Joe Riggs, so I got the like fight night bonus, everything. I got
Hell
paid
yeah.
out big, and then I did a seminar in Qatar. So I used to train one of the royal family members here in Colorado, who was here for college.
No shit.
And then like never wanted anybody to know that he was part of the royal family. Just wanted to be a normal dude, but would also show up in Lambos and Ferraris and
I just want to be a normal rich
Yeah.
guy.
and then like the gym that we trained at, it was like coming to America. He would have people deliver boxes of gear to the gym. It was really cool. Like he was a really nice, generous guy, very normal. If you talk to him, you would never know. He would never mention it, but always had like extravagant, nice stuff.
Just oil money, right? I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Real estate money. They're big in real estate. They have a palace in England bigger than Buckingham Palace. The Qatari Palace is bigger than Buckingham
crazy,
Palace.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, fast forward a couple years, he goes back home, and he was doing MMA at our gym. And one thing that he liked is that this was at GUM MMA, so GUMM.
Okay.
back where Brandon Royval first came in as like a teenager, and Chase Hackett, Nick. There was a bunch of guys.
Was this
there.
the place where there was like an Italian restaurant like
Yeah.
next door or something?
Yeah, same place.
Okay, yeah.
So tiny. I mean, the gym was 1,500 square feet, probably double the size of this studio. And but Brad was in like the early UFCs. He was a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and back then you couldn't find that. And my mom had actually introduced me to this guy because she worked at a car dealership, and so he was always there buying cars, like different cars. And he told her that he like loved MMA, was obsessed with it. And so she's like, oh, my son fights. And that was like before the UFC, but I was in the higher like regional level. I was going to Canada and stuff, kind of on my way. So I talked to him because he called me and he told me that he was paying, I forget what gym he was going to, somewhere in Colorado. I'm sure it's not around anymore, but they knew he had money and were obviously taking advantage of him. He was paying like $300
Like $6,000 a month to train.
Well, I mean, this was way back in the day
Yeah.
too. He was paying like $300 a month, and I was
Oh,
like, dude, my
shit.
gym's 100, and I've never even heard of that one, like, or anything. So he started coming, and like his favorite part about the gym is that nobody gave a shit what he rolled up in or anything. Like he got his teeth knocked out, which is part of what ended it because he had to go back home to get his teeth fixed.
Oh, shit.
But we had this crazy like rocker dude with like long hair, like tatted all the way, like face down. Didn't give a shit. I don't care how much money you got. Like they're beating you up.
It's awesome.
I forget where I was going with it, but fast forward years later, he contacted me and he was like, hey, I want to fly you out. He has the only MMA gym in Qatar.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know about now. This is back then. And he was trying to make it like more of a sport there and like build it. So he was like super passionate, which is awesome. And so he flew me out for a seminar. And then I don't know if you ever met Chase Hackett. He moved out of here now, but grew up with him. Him and I were roommates. But
Okay.
he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He fought professionally. He fought on the Ultimate Fighter and stuff. But so I was like, yeah, let me bring somebody else too so I can help like show things. So Chase and I went for a week and it was awesome.
Were you guys staying in the palace and everything? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he's pretty far removed. Like he'll never be king. But I mean, he's not hurting ever.
That money is insane because I've done some private shows at some palaces.
Insane.
Insane.
And I had, one of the coolest trips to the Middle East because he had been here for college and school for so long. When we were there, he was like, listen, anything you guys want to ask me, you can ask me. He's like, not offended. You can ask about religion, this, that. He's like, open book. And then maybe some of that I shouldn't share on here, but what I will say is it was a really cool experience and like learning the culture. But where I'm getting at to the Falcons is I just made all this money from fighting Joe Riggs, getting the bonus. I thought I was rich. I was like, oh, yeah. So one day before one of the seminars, because we did one training session a day, and then the rest of the time he was like, do whatever you want. Everybody knows you're here with me. We had a driver. He's like, do whatever. We went to the market, and it was called the souk, or yes, I think souk is how you'd say it. And they had the falcon souk. So Chase and I went through there, and they had all these like falcons that you could look at and like buy.
Really?
And they all had hoods on. They were on like perches. So Chase and I were going back and
Were they
forth.
like trained in falconry? Or?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they stayed on the perch. They were like tied on there, but like the string was long. They could have gone off if they wanted. And so I was telling Chase, I'm like, hey, I'll give you $500 to go pet that thing right now. And like it's just staring at us with a hood on, like, and I mean their beaks are long,
Oh,
and
they're
their
crazy.
claws are long, and he like started to go near it, and of course it like stared at him again, even though it had its eyes covered. It knew exactly where he was, and he was
Yeah.
like, "No, I'm not doing it, no chance." And then I looked, and one of them was like $2,000, so I was like, "Oh shit, I think I'm gonna buy a falcon."
That's
And
awesome.
luckily he talked me out of it because I had this whole idea in my head. I was like, I'm going to have this falcon. I'm
You're gonna
do all this
smuggle it
cool
back to the
shit.
States and
Yeah, I was
shit?
like, I'll get it back. And Chase started going through like, dude, do you know how much that's going to cost to fly, everything? And I was like,
God.
oh, you're right.
Have you ever seen those guys that hunt with them, like goats and shit in Mongolia?
Yeah.
So badass. Jeremy, you got to pull some of this shit up,
Yes.
dude. Like, it is insane. But they're using, like, eagles, I think. There's some sort of eagle or osprey.
Yeah, they
Made
throw
them?
the the goat off the cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking badass,
I have seen
dude.
that.
Falconry is insane. Is it Mongolia? Yeah. Yeah, those are eagles, bro.
Those are golden eagles. I've seen some out here. You ever seen them in Colorado?
We
I've seen them
actually
on the
have a
ground.
bald eagle that's been hanging out at the lake here when there's no ice, which is fucking awesome, man. There's nothing like walking out here or watching a bald eagle fly by the studio. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, bald eagles are badass, obviously, because it's our nation's bird. But these things are like 3 feet tall. Like some of the
they're
ones I've seen,
They're huge.
they're like what are they called? Like vultures and stuff. They're big.
Yeah.
But they're absolute predators. So that's my only story about how I was thinking I was going to buy a falcon. I had no plan after training
crazy.
it or.
Yeah, look at these things, dude.
Yeah, the hoods keep them calm, apparently.
The guy's got it in his fucking living room, dude.
That was my plan.
Yeah.
Don't come in my house.
You know
unless
what's crazy like about owning birds is I have a couple friends that own like parrots and stuff, and they live like 80 years. Like
Yeah.
I think eagles can live like 60 years or some shit.
And here's the problem is like, I'm going to get a lot of hate probably for saying this, but I actually hate birds. Whitney loves birds.
Does she?
Yeah, and she used to have like a pet parakeet or something. And I told her flat out, I was like, if you had a bird when we met that was going to live like 80 years or something, I would have never seen you again. I would have been like, I can't do it.
Sorry.
It's
Yeah.
worse than a cat. Like,
Those things are fucking amazing.
this isn't even what you're talking about where they
No.
where they drop them off the cliff, then they fall to their death.
Yeah, it's insane. Look up like Eagle Cliff.
I think it's in India. So
Maybe-
they're not actually like trained birds. That's what they do wild.
Oh, right.
They snipe them off the cliff, but the eagles have figured out if they just pull them enough to drop them off the cliff, they die. The animal kingdom is crazy. Look at that.
So
What
awesome.
was that? 100-pound?
Damn,
goat?
dude.
Yeah, they let it fall to its death. Then they
Oh,
eat
and he
it.
purposely hung on to it so it hit like head first. Did
Yeah.
you see that?
Yeah.
Play that back. So this eagle grabs it by the legs and he holds on to it until they're almost,
Yeah, because he could let
To
go
the
right
rock.
there.
because that thing's trying to get back to its feet. Look at that. Boom.
Then let it go. Get a little bounce out of him.
So it's fucking smart, dude.
That is genius. You don't
Yeah.
have to kill it. You just got to drop it to its death.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like Nature is Metal is probably my favorite Instagram follow of all
Yeah.
time, dude. So
Oh, yeah.
badass. The one thing that I really kicked myself in the ass for not hitting Beto up or pulling a friend card at one point is he made a series of Nature is Metal knives, and they're sick, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it has like their logo on it. It was like a number limited edition.
Dang.
I should hit him up and see if he's still got one. Be like, yo, you want to sell me that thing?
I was just about to ask about that because Beto came up here.
Oh,
He
it was so
staying with me.
awesome. Yeah.
Did you put it out yet? I haven't listened.
Yeah, we put it out. We put it out the day. No, the next day.
Oh, I'm going to listen to it
Afterward.
on my way home.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. He's such a fucking just interesting dude, man. Like he's like nobody I know.
Do you know that guy has more stories than anybody I know? So he has one business with Joe Rogan. And I was like, why aren't you ever on Joe Rogan's podcast? He's like, oh, you ask me all the time, but he's like, I'm fucking boring. Nobody wants to hear me. Like,
I
don't have
love having
he's
him.
like, I don't have anything to say. And I was like, are you shitting me? Because when we're at my house, that dude has endless stories about the wildest shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know, because he was a Navy SEAL and
In
like,
fucking Antarctica yesterday.
yeah, he was in fucking
What?
Antarctica and South Africa. And like, that guy is all over the world.
It's weird though. Like I've hung out with him a ton off the mic, and when you turn the mic on,
Yeah, I don't think he likes
the stories don't get. They're not. I've had no disrespect. I fucking love you, Beto, but it's a different dynamic when the mic's on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I can get it too.
I get it
because, like,
too. I'm the same way. I'm a little bit more reserved, I think.
That and like security clearances and stuff. Because like, do you want to,
Yeah.
do you want to clear it by the Pentagon before you do every fucking thing, or you just deter from it? You know,
Which is crazy because some of the guys that I've had on, we've gotten like those redaction letters, and I've had to just take the whole episode down. I'm just like, fuck it, I'm not gonna go in and like
and
edit
bleep every.
this part out. Like, sorry. Or I've had guys that have re-enlisted or have tried to get clearance, and they're like, yo, this is showing up as a flag. Do you mind taking it down? I'm like, no, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I can get it. And I think he's more comfortable just talking around friends, like you're saying. Because then
I feel so honored that he said yes to me. I mean, that's the third time we've had him on, so it's fucking cool. For him to say yes at the infancy of the podcast too, and then we did our 100th episode with him in like a blade giveaway. It was fucking cool, man. Like,
yeah,
I'm such a fan of him as a person, but he's an artist, man. Like, look at this. Those are the Nature's Metal blades. Those are sick, huh?
Yeah, those are sick.
I think there's only like, I don't know how many he made, like 6 maybe?
Look at
fucking
how,
badass.
if you look at them, you can see how each one's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like, they're obviously handmade.
Yeah, have you been to the shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they put them in acid, so like no blade will ever be the same because like the etchings in the metal and the acid like change the colors, but it's like a fingerprint.
Yeah.
Is what they're telling me, because they can never be the same unless, I don't think you could go through and make sure the metal is completely smooth and then etch it exactly.
Right.
So it's literally like a fingerprint. They're one of one.
Yeah.
Even if they make 50 of the same kind of knife, the staining will never be the same.
But you could also see they're all basically the same. I mean, they're all very similar. They're all very similar to the same shape. But
Well, they still hand grind them too,
That's what
so
I'm
it's
saying.
like it's not like a machine ground thing. There's
it's not
still
a
guys in a
CNC.
belt. You're gonna have
Yeah.
imperfections,
which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's crazy because I can verify they are literally all handmade, and so can you then.
Yeah.
I just went to his newest shop because he bought a building and put all the
sweet.
machines in there. And
Yeah.
so he does have some machines that will cut the shape.
Yeah, they're doing the leg
blade.
work of it, right? But the handles and everything, and like the grinding and
The sharpening,
That's all
the
done.
etching, everything else is all hand. The handles, all hand.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
I think the coolest thing that they do too is like this arrowhead. They make it look like rock. He calls it rock work.
Is that his?
No, this is stuff that Donnie Dust made me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that he made from stone. But like Vito does that on his metal blades. Like if he like the tomahawk that he made me
Yeah.
is so badass, dude.
Yeah,
I
those things
should
are-
have brought it all. I had it all in here when he came up, which was cool.
Oh, it's not cool enough to leave here, huh?
I'm too nervous to fucking leave it here, dude. Like these challenge coins are enough. I'm always worried about like somebody's gonna break in here, but with fucking Mountain Town, But when I do leave the studio, because sometimes we rent this out. Or no, we don't. This is just the Mountainside studio. But anyways, I pull these challenge coins off and stuff, and this is all stuff that's been given to me on the podcast. But I have a shitload more at home. Like I got Air Force One challenge
really?
coins and shit, dude. Like I did the 60-year anniversary of the Air Force with Red Bull.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we went to every Air Force base in the U.S. and we were going on active bases. And these guys were just like so stoked to see somebody that wasn't like military, right?
Yeah.
And we were the fucking rock stars of the base. So they were just like giving us shit. It's just like the most generous people in the world, man. Like
Totally.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
Not only their service, but just like over and above. Like, hey, you guys want to go drink some beer? Like just cool fucking people, Like
Totally.
Yeah.
I did a UFC fight for the troops back in like 2012 or 13.
yeah.
And it was awesome. We fought at Fort Campbell.
Yep.
It was in Kentucky. We stayed in Nashville. As a fighter, it was kind of rough, but as like a fan, it was awesome.
So cool. I love being around. Like one of my favorite parts about being in San Diego is just the military presence.
Yeah.
Like Beto shop's like what, a mile from Miramar or something. So there's like constantly jets flying around. Like if you've ever been to Coronado Beach,
Yeah.
it's just Blackhawks going up and down the beach and Ospreys and just fucking cool shit.
Yeah. Half Face Blades shop, I always tell everybody it looks like a Slayer concert. When you probably
does,
saw this, I
yeah.
don't know how long ago, but even I've been there like 5 times now. Every time I go in there, you walk in, it's not all like pristine and everything. You walk in, there's like a dog bag. Crow will jump the fence, his
Yeah.
dog, with like a titanium grill. And his dog, he's got a Malinois that literally, his teeth say kill bad dudes across it and has the Navy SEAL tridents on his fangs.
He's got an American flag on one of them too, I think.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool.
His teeth are all etched out because he lost his teeth as a puppy, I guess, like tearing into something.
That little fucker, has he dick punched you?
Did I not tell you this? He bit my balls.
Oh, you did tell me the story. I don't know if we talked about it. So Crow, whenever I would show up, he just like, I don't know if he knows that like I fucking love dogs and I especially love like Malinois and healers. And I love to like throw a ball for him. So he'll just grab whatever toy he has and he just comes up to me like, this is my dick. And just with his nose just goes, boom.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Like, hey, fucker, play with me, you know? Like,
yeah, he's the friendliest dog ever.
Yeah.
But we were out drinking one night and we were there for Bellator for Grant Neal.
yeah.
I was staying at Beto's house.
Shout out.
We went out
Love that dude.
drinking the night before the fight after weigh-ins, and then we come back to Beto's house. And Crow is not like, he can be mean, like he's a trained, fucking guard dog. But I'd already met him a bunch of times, and he was just excited, and he had a toy in his mouth. So he came running to the door, and we were like drunk and loud and a whole lot. And Crow comes running to the door, and he has the toy in his mouth, but like Malinois chatter, like
Yeah.
Well, that dog has titanium teeth, so you can hear it. It's like tick, 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 tick. But he has the toy in his mouth, and he runs up like chattering to me, and I'm talking, and he like pinches, and I was like, what the fuck? And I jump back, kind of, and I like put my hand down my pants, and I pull my hand out, and they're like, "Did he bite you?" And I pull my hand out, and it's covered in blood.
Oh, serious?
Like rip my nuts.
Damn, dude.
My jeans didn't.
Are
even
you
rip.
okay?
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Okay.
good. My jeans didn't even rip.
Wow.
Like it was so weird. And like, here's what a friend Beto is. He's like, "Let me get the iodine." We're sitting there drunk as shit. And I'm like, have my balls out, and he's putting iodine on it. And Whitney's looking there like, "What are you guys doing?" She's like, "Put your balls away." And he's like, "Gotta clean it."
God, dude. Yeah, it's a different breed, man. It's fucking
Yeah.
crazy. Those dogs are nuts.
But their shop, going back why I say it's a Slayer concert, is like all ex-military guys. Just, I don't know, 2 months ago I was there, and you walk in, there's like a little waiting area, but Crow's bed is there, and it's a little chaos. Then you walk in the back, and it's like a bunch of shirtless, like tatted up guys in shorts and like skater shoes.
And they could give a fuck who it is that
And there's
walks
like
in the
metal
shop.
playing.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm talking guys with tattooed faces, necks, everything, and they're all just grinding knives to like loud metal music all day long. But everybody is super nice. Like they look like the meanest bunch ever. But then they're like, "Oh, here, come check this out. Here's the one I made." Like everybody's pumped about like what they're making.
Yeah.
Because their whole goal is like, from my understanding, Beto's like, I've got guys that have been here a long time that have like permission to use like the meteorite, the giraffe bones, stuff that they get donated to make inlays in the handles. And he's like, once they get to a certain point, I don't even question them. They can take whatever they want, do whatever they want. So everybody is there working on something really cool. And they were all excited to show it and like, check this out.
It's a artistry and craftsmanship like no other, man. Like he's changed the knife game, the knife maker's game.
Yeah, and he just bought a new building, I think, and he told me he has enough room now to have like a showroom. So he can do showroom, but also like a museum of like the start, how he first started in his backyard, and like the history of his knives, which would be really cool.
Yeah, it is cool, man. It's such a cult following. There's so many people that, I mean, are fanatics, myself included. Like, I didn't realize how much shit that he's made me and that his guys have made me over the years. Because I knew him when it was like before it was in his backyard. Like, I knew of him, like, Ryan Bates, shout out. And when those guys, I was working with those guys, and they were working with me through Monster and stuff, doing all kinds of stuff. They were providing security for us. So they like turned me on to his knife, like, "Yo, check out my buddy's knife company."
Yeah, because Bates' wife works for Monster.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, Diana's great too.
She's awesome. That whole little clique is just crazy, just good people, man. They're all just really good people.
The coolest people ever. Like, Beto has become, and Bates, like some of my best friends. Like, those guys are so like, if they say it, they do it. And just like great all around, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, good people, man.
Yeah.
Shout out. I'm hoping to get Bates on here soon. Diana too. That'd be a good one.
Oh, Diana would be a riot.
Yeah, I've toured with Diana basically for close to like 4 or 5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah, she's awesome, man.
We all just
There's
played in Dan Henderson's golf tournament before my fight.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, it was like probably a month and a half before.
Okay.
So we went out. We all stayed at Beto's house. It was like me, Ryan Bader, Bates, Beto, and then of course Beto flew in a hunting guide who was a scratch golfer to be on our team.
Nice.
He's like, I want to win this thing because he was sponsoring it. So we show up to Hendo's tournament and we all do pretty terrible, but the kid that was a scratch golfer, young kid, never been out of New Mexico in his life. And Beto was like, I'm buying you a ticket. You're staying at my house. He got the experience of a lifetime.
That's awesome.
He was like thrown up drunk. But he crushed it. So
Hendo's a pretty cool guy, right? Like
Hendo's
like
the man.
Yeah.
So I've known him for like a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
I party with him a bit here and there, whenever we're in the same town. But great dude. And like Randy Couture was there, like singing on stage, playing the guitar, which like he could sing. I had no idea.
Really?
Yeah, he's talented.
That's awesome.
It was a fun time though, but Bates like had never golfed before. So he comes walking out in the morning. We were up all night, like barely slept. I come out in golf clothes. Everybody comes out in golf clothes, even Beto, And Bates comes out and Ryan Bader was like, you look like you're going to your first day of third grade. He like tucked in just regular polo and like regular shorts, not like golf shorts.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? Is this not okay? And it was his.
And he doesn't give a fuck, dude.
It was his first time golfing, and he ended up like actually being pretty damn good at it. He chipped one in from like 80 yards away.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't even see it. I mean, obviously
fucking
it was pure
awesome.
luck, but
If you need some more ice, there's some in that Yeti cup.
oh,
right
okay.
there.
Yeah, he chips from like off the green, like far, and we watch it like bounce twice and go in the hole, and we were like, we all start screaming, and he's like, "Is that good? Is that good?" We're like, yeah.
That's awesome.
He kept being like, "Are you proud of me?"
Dude,
I love that guy.
when I pulled out of here, when Beto used your car to come up here, didn't he?
Yeah.
Your car's never gone that fast before.
Oh yeah. He's probably like, "Ooh."
Dude, we pulled out of the studio. I was right behind him. And, like, my car's not fast or anything, but those taillights disappeared in front of me. And I was just like, holy fucking shit. He's like, no, I got to get back down to Chris's place. And
Yeah, that was
got
awesome.
Down,
He came
got down
up.
there and quick, dude.
That was fight day.
Yeah, it was fight day.
Yeah, he was asking me. He's like, "How far is Evergreen from here?" And I was like, "Oh, it's not too bad. Like, it's Friday, so you'll be good." And
Gone.
I
Fucking,
was
he
like,
flying up 74.
yeah,
Yeah, that guy's been so good to me, man. He's just a good dude.
yeah,
Really good dude.
And I was like, to be honest, normally I would take you and roll up there and hang out. I was like, it's fight day. I'm literally not leaving my bedroom, so go ahead. I don't need my car.
That's
Take
awesome.
it.
Thanks,
I don't
man.
need you to be back. I was like, because I'm gonna watch movies all day in bed, and yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, it was a great episode, man, and his episodes always crush, man. Like he's just got a following that's so religious and so like he could start a war if he wanted to, dude. I think
Yeah, the
He's
guy
just
is
call
like, he's the
call on his half face like enthusiast club, and it's like 6,000 people or some shit, dude. Like
I know. I say he's like the international man of mystery because, yeah, like you said, like mic on and everything, he's just
yeah,
proper. But then outside of that, like if you know him, like that guy has. That's why I want to listen to the episode because I've hung out with him so many times, but every time I hear something different that I've never heard before. This guy has been all over the earth doing the coolest shit. Even outside the military, he's like in Africa hunting.
Yeah.
Like we said, he's in
well, that's the
Antarctica
thing.
right
Like
now. Like
when I have those sort of guys on, like my buddy Jeremiah, I've just learned in being around them and being around so many, like where I know most of these guys from is a lot of those guys provide personal protection for like rock stars and stuff. And I know you've worked in that field too. Didn't you do personal protection for a while? I think we talked about that. Yeah.
yeah. And then when I come across those guys, I'm like, oh shit, we're different, huh?
But they're cool, man. They don't get, it's not about that. But from what with those guys, I just never, their military career is going to come up naturally, right? Like it's been a huge portion of their life, but I don't straight out ask them about how many people have you killed? You know what I mean? You don't do that. So it's cool the way that I've approached it and the stuff that I've learned from Beto, like during that episode, we were just talking about stars and like being out hunting, just being outside. And then he's like telling us about like watching stars in night vision and watching comets go by. I was like,
Yeah.
that's a totally different perspective that I never even thought of, you know, like.
And even those guys like are just legends to everybody else, right?
Yeah.
When was it? Whenever Colby Covington fought, was it Usman maybe? Fuck, I was there. I was at the fight.
Okay.
We were in Vegas. Dustin Jacoby fought, shit, I don't remember, but Dustin Jacoby fought.
It was recently then, yeah?
Yeah, Trump was
Yeah.
there.
He fought Chandler, didn't he?
Who?
Or no, he fought Masvidal again.
No, oh wait, Dustin fought Alonzo Menafield.
Okay.
So whatever card
Yeah.
that was, because I trained with Alonzo.
But it was Covington Masvidal, right? I think was the main.
No, I think it was Covington Usman.
Okay. Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. Okay.
I could be wrong
Doesn't
on
matter.
that. Colby was fighting because Trump was there, and so I went with Bates and Beto and everything, and we had a blast. And then after, I don't even remember how. Oh, it was Wolf was with Kid Rock and Trump and them. So we went to Kid Rock's room and like after party, and then Whitney and I left. And next day, because Bates lives in Vegas or in Nevada, right outside the city. I hit him up and I was like, how was the rest of the night? And Beto was like, dude, I went to leave, and Kid Rock was like, you're not fucking leaving. Dude, from the time we were there, Kid Rock was like locked in on those guys, like, tell me some stories, everything. And like Beto was like, he busted out his guitar, started playing, and then like wouldn't let me leave. He's like, I was there till like 6 a.m. He just wanted to hear like story. So I was like, that just shows you like
He's a cool guy.
you guys are not
I've worked
necessarily
for
like
him.
the
He's a good
celebrities,
guy.
but the celebrities literally.
Oh yeah,
Or, like-
everybody. I mean, and it's honestly kind of how it should be. Like,
It should.
there's good and bad guys though in it too. Like, out of all the guys that I know, like we used to bring a fucking shitload down with Monster, dude. It was like 20 of them. It was
Yeah.
insane.
I've met some shitty ones.
It was insane, and some of them are not good people. But it's like anything, man. Like,
Yeah, it's like
You know.
fighters too.
yeah,
99% of the fighters I've ever met, including the guys I've fought, are all cool people.
they're the best.
The military guys, I've found that and I'm not military, so you could judge me all you want, but I found that the badder you are, the nicer you are.
Yeah.
They just have like, they don't have a chip on their shoulder. Like,
Well, it's kind of the same with pro fighters that I found. It's like there's nothing to prove, man. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to prove.
yeah. It's my experience is like the lower level athletes in general are the most high maintenance. Like, they're trying to be the rock star. The ones that are super famous usually are cool as fuck,
Yeah.
to my experience. At least with fighters and like celebrities.
I found it. I was wondering today, because of your championship, like how many people from Colorado have been champions? Like, I was trying to think back today, and you're big on fight history, but I know like Jack Dempsey was the first one that came to mind.
Oh yeah,
Because he was like, dude, it was
Manasseh
crazy.
Mauler.
He was a heavyweight world champion from like for almost 7 years.
Jack Dempsey's my idol.
Is he?
I've read all his books, biographies.
I need to. Oh, dude, you need to send me some of that stuff because
I
I would
will.
like to go down a rabbit hole on him.
Dude,
It's
Jack-
so cool. He's from Colorado too. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's even better.
Most people don't realize like his first name was Manasseh Mauler. Manasseh
Right.
something. I think it was Mauler. But Manasseh's in
That's a sick fight name, dude.
that's like the San Luis Valley, but nobody's ever heard of Manasseh.
Yeah.
I never put it together, actually. I went to Manasseh when I was in college.
He was
So-
born there, right?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
didn't know where Manasseh was. I didn't know it existed. And then I ended up there, and there was a mural of Jack Dempsey on like an entire building side.
Really?
And I was like, Jack Dempsey, see Manasseh. And then that's when, before then I didn't.
He fought at like the White House on the Roosevelt during the Roosevelt era, didn't he?
Did he?
I think he fought like on the White House lawn or some shit, dude. Like the guy had.
So Jack Dempsey, I know from his biography, his career kind of started. So he started in Manasseh, and then he worked like the mines and stuff. But what he used to do was illegally jump on the train, and he would go town to town.
He's a hobo then,
This
huh?
is in his book, yeah. And he went town to town, and every town they stopped in, he would go into the local bar and be like, "Who's the toughest motherfucker here? I'll fight you outside for the bar tab." So he would just fight dudes in the parking lot, like bare knuckle.
For a bar tab, that's badass.
Yeah. And so he traveled across the country riding the rails illegally, just like jumping on the train and fighting everywhere. And then got into boxing. And
Well, and he was champ for like 7 years, wasn't it? Something like it was.
it might have been longer
It was
than that.
it was a run. Look how
At heavyweight,
So
he
he
was
didn't
like,
fight at the White House, but he did.
was it during the
appear at White
Roosevelt
House.
era? Because I think he was the champ like in 1919 or some shit, wasn't it?
but if I remember right, too, he ended up having like, he ended his career having a restaurant called like Dempsey's or something in like Manhattan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like telling fight stories.
Yeah, I
kinda
know
like
he
the
died in
Rocky
New
movies.
York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
I mean,
with-
there's so many fighters too, like Mike Tyson, right? He took his style or the peekaboo kind of style, right? Was Jack Dempsey style.
Yeah. So back then he was like way smaller too. But he wrote a book on like called How to Be a Man when he was in the Navy and stuff.
Jack Dempsey did?
Yeah.
That's fucking.
It's
I
like-
gotta read
I think
that.
it's called How to Be a Man or How to Be a Real Man by Jack Dempsey.
That's crazy.
It's been years, but
Yeah, Colorado royalty. He should be, man, like that. But anyways, so
hold on. What you're thinking of is so another one of my idols is Teddy Roosevelt.
okay.
I got to pull the picture up. I showed Whitney. Did you see that?
Oh, of Teddy when he's like,
yeah.
yeah.
So Teddy Roosevelt is one of my favorite presidents. Well,
He's
actually
by
my
far mine.
favorite president.
I think he's mine too.
But if you know anything about him, he like was into boxing and stuff. So he used to hold bare knuckle boxing fights on the White House lawn, and he would fight. So he would
maybe that's what I was
he would
thinking
bring
of.
in people to fight him.
Yeah, look at this picture of him, dude. It's
Yeah.
so badass.
He lost his vision from getting punched by his friend.
Really?
Yeah,
Damn.
or in one eye.
So like a detached retina.
This
I
is
guess.
what
Yeah.
This is what an 18-year-old used to look. 19-year-old used to look.
God
like.
damn, dude.
I couldn't grow a beard until
looks
I
like
was like
fucking-
32.
He looks like Wolverine, bro.
Yeah, look at the chops on him. But yeah, so Teddy Roosevelt would hold. He was big in boxing and hunting, so he's the reason we have national parks. So he's the one that created like government funded national parks, but then also used to hold fights on the White House lawn. But he would always fight in it. He wanted to start wars so that he could fight in it. Like
That's
he was
crazy.
just like a man.
Yeah.
One of my friends actually
Didn't his whole like family die or something too while he was
I don't know.
like
I
during his
forget now.
presidency or something? And he found, I know one of the things is he found like therapy in nature. And that's one reason why we have all these national parks is it was like, it was therapeutic for him to just be out in the middle of nowhere and like hunt and that sort of stuff, which I can attest to, man. Like that's,
Yeah, so he wrote a book about discovering the Amazon. So he went through the Amazon and then the Badlands, so like through South Dakota and everything when it was like Indian territory.
wow.
Have you ever been there?
The Badlands?
Yeah.
No.
It's badass. You
Yeah,
got to go.
So the way that I heard that they designed some of the entrances to to some of our national parks is that it's like really like boring and approachable, and then you crest a hill and you go, oh my god. And the Badlands is just like that. Like you can imagine being on a wagon train.
You're
and
just
then
like,
going,
what the fuck?
Oh fuck! Like
Yeah, could you imagine
worst
coming
day of your
across
life.
like from the East Coast and seeing the Rocky Mountains for the first time?
Yeah, like
Or like Glacier National Park?
never seen that before.
This is
I'm gonna
like-
turn back.
this is like
Looks
rich-
cold. I'm gonna stick to the beaches.
Yeah.
I might have, if I was an explorer, I might have gone along. I would have followed the ocean. You know, I
Oh,
like the
right.
warm weather.
Dude, it's so crazy.
Yeah. Hey, do you
It's
mind
like
if I?
grasslands and then Mars.
You got to check out this book, Longitude. I think it's Longitude. It's all about navigation and how the watch was invented and how they invented maritime and longitude and latitude. It's fucking crazy.
I won't
dude.
understand any of that.
No, you will.
I get lost at the mall. Hey, do you mind if I take a quick break? And
No, let's do it. Let's take a break. If you're not checking out the Mountainside Podcast on YouTube, you absolutely should be. If you like the content that we create here and you want to help support the podcast, please take a moment, subscribe to us on YouTube, and hit that notification bell. All right, I'll hit Sully up after and see what's up.
Dude, they would die.
Yeah, let me see. Sully and we did Kanye together. But then when I was out with the Killers, we were on like the same festival run. He was Gaga's like personal protection for a long time.
I bet that's a tough
and
job.
It was so funny. He would I'd see him rolling through the airport because we'd be flying at the same time in all these countries, and he'd be carrying her purse.
Put it on your shoulder, bro. Strut it.
Jeremy, are we good?
Yeah, man.
We're back.
Yo, you're recording too. I'm jotting down the hour, and you can delete this.
Oh, okay, cool.
Call out.
Thanks, man.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought we were already recording anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we are.
Yeah.
But going back to Teddy Roosevelt, close it out.
Yeah.
Teddy is the ultimate man's man. I'm going to send you some books.
Yeah.
Him, Jack Dempsey. I don't know. I would love to compare myself to them, but I am nowhere near that.
Well, dude, you're in that status. That's what I was getting at. Like Colorado champions, I can't really think of too many. Like Sean Carwin Shane Carwin. But that was like
he was the interim UFC champion, I believe.
For a while.
Yeah.
And then
Shane's a good friend of mine too. And
is he?
Great dude, yeah.
Awesome. I'd love to have him on.
Smart as fuck.
Is he?
Yeah, so he
was a heavyweight champ too, right?
Shane didn't get into the UFC until he was like 38.
Really?
Yeah, he was older. But he was an engineer, went to school mines. Shane literally invented I'll butcher this, some kind of piece for water companies that the city of Greeley bought from him. Like he made it, started the patent, sold it to the city. Dude never needed to fight. He went to Western State. He was a national champion college wrestler, if I'm correct.
No, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wrestled at Mines too, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monster of a fucking man.
Were you guys in the UFC at the same?
Yeah.
Around the same era, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had the same management, so we would do a lot of like promo videos and commercials and stuff together, and like then I got to hanging out with him. I've never felt small in my life.
He defended his title quite a few times too, didn't he?
He had some bangers.
Yeah.
And then he's not doing too well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sucks.
I don't know if you follow, like, Brandon Schaub has come out saying, like, I don't know the extent of it. So Shane reached out to me probably 6 months ago because he moved to Texas. And then he hit me up and he was like, hey, I'm back in Colorado, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, shit, no way. Like, how you doing? This is over text. And he's just like, not good. Having some brain issues. So,
oh, no.
And I don't want to speak for him.
Yeah.
Because it could be wrong, and I haven't heard back from him since, but I know that it's not too well. Yeah.
That sucks, man.
Not to bring the mood down on the show.
But another Colorado champion.
Yeah, Justin Gaethje was the...
Yeah, but he's not from Colorado, right? He's from, like, Nebraska or some shit?
Yeah, but we'll claim him.
Yeah, we'll claim him.
No, he's from Arizona, but fuck you, Arizona. We're claiming him. He might have been born there, but he went to college here, grew up here.
Yeah, no, I get it. But, and then, is Rose from here?
Rose is originally from Minnesota, I think.
Okay, but she's been here a
long time,
right?
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah.
Rose, you're part of here. Raquel Pennington is the UFC champion.
Yeah.
She's from, I think she's from here, as
well,
far as I know. Colorado Springs.
Is it Brandon or Ben Henderson, right?
Yeah.
What was it? Is it
Bendo?
first name? Bendo Henderson, right? Like his first name was Bendo.
I don't know if his
legally, right?
I don't know if his first name was Bendo or if it was because he's good at jiu-jitsu and bending people. your name is Ben Henderson to me, and I know Ben and like
long time.
Ben,
champion.
your name is Ben because I don't.
He was born in Colorado too, I think.
I don't know if he was born here or came here. But so his coach John Crouch is a longtime Colorado staple. So like when I was first coming up, John Crouch had a gym here in Colorado. And I think Ben was one of his fighters here. And then they relocated to Arizona.
Okay.
But John Crouch is a great dude, great coach. He runs the lab in Arizona where a ton of UFC fighters are out of now. But going back and history. I don't know if Crouch is from here or not, but I knew of him. when I
Cowboy, but
first
Cowboy
started.
never won a championship, right? I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
might
he-
as well. I mean,
He should have been. Dude, that guy's a fucking stud.
yeah.
He's a bucket list guest for me for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we can make that happen.
Okay.
Yeah, Cerrone's a cool motherfucker too.
Yeah, he's awesome, man.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of great people that came out of here. There's
There's a
shitload.
lot. There's a lot, but like actual championship status, you're in that talk now, dude.
Yeah,
That's fucking cool.
I think I talked too much
I
shit
think-
about the mayor and the governor to ever get any kind of like, to ever get. They're not inviting me to the fucking state capitol.
You wouldn't want to be there anyways, dude. Like,
Actually, I would turn it down, but I'd make
Yeah.
sure I posted that letter.
I wouldn't go.
The current status.
It's funny when all that, the last couple weeks when we covered the mountain lion hunting ban thing, like I crammed it down our poor listener's throat. But you know what? It didn't fucking pass, which is fucking cool.
Amazing.
But one of the last clips that we made, I don't know if the actual governor saw it, but you know how you can invite somebody to collaborate on Instagram?
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah. I do it to those guys all the time if I post about them. I tag them
like,
in it.
what is this? And it was like, it definitely was like leading him into it too. It was kind of funny. So but
Good, I like
yeah,
it.
I'm sure his people saw it. Somebody saw it from whoever runs his Instagram page saw it.
Yeah. I feel like I'll tag, if I'm talking shit about you, I'm tagging you in it.
Why not?
Because otherwise it's like me talking behind your back. I won't
Yeah.
say it if I don't want you to hear it.
Yep.
I'm not trying to like sneakily, especially on social media where it's literally public
I would
to
say the
everybody.
same thing to his face. But listen, Governor Polis, you're welcome to come in here and sit with me anytime that you want. I'd be happy to sit down and have a conversation with you
There's
and find out
zero
who you
chance
really
of-
are. Yeah,
Yeah. He lives too far away from here. He doesn't live in Denver.
right.
He lives in Boulder.
No way.
Crazy.
Yeah. You're the governor, but you don't live in the capital.
Doesn't make sense.
Why don't you let the migrants live in the governor's mansion? How about that? You know, the mayor, Mike Johnson, he doesn't live in Denver. He lives in Centennial.
That's crazy.
You can Google it.
Yeah. How can you be the mayor of a city and not live in the city?
Because you don't respect the city or you don't trust it, you don't like it. It's not safe enough for you.
Yeah, that's that's
I'm like, I'm about to go off. Like,
It doesn't
No,
provide.
let's not do
what you
that.
need.
Let's not do that. Let's stick
Listen,
on championship status.
you don't need a political side or anything, but the fact is,
God, what a crazy thing though. Like it was so funny after it was like a culmination of stuff, right? First it was my son, and just like everybody was winning. You, who did I have on recently? Why am I drawing a fucking blank?
Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump
you have-
won.
was
The
he on
lion
here?
thing, the fur ban. It was just like, no, he's welcome anytime too. But
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a better chance of that happening than getting Mike
you see-
Johnson or Jason Polis on here.
see what I was gifted tonight? Look at this. That's sick. It's the
love
Santa
it.
Cruz logo, but
Yeah.
yeah, pretty dope.
Love it. No, I mean, listen.
I got an extra one of those. I'll
Yeah.
look you up.
Yeah, give me one.
But just everybody was winning, man.
You don't have to be political, but at the same time, like you got to notice that the city and the state has been running to shit.
Listen, I'm not a political person, but I have children.
I'm a political person, even though every time I do start a thing saying I'm not that political, I realize I am very political, but I'm open-minded enough to see both sides, right?
Sure.
Because the lines have changed. The Republicans of when we were kids, Democrats when we were kids, are not the Democrats now. There is like extremism.
Oh, it's so far. Me and Jeremy just did a podcast. He was actually my last guest, which was awesome. Some of my favorite times in here is just when me and Jeremy are just sitting here drinking, bullshitting. And I think that we have a third party. This is the first time where we actually have like a third party. What'd you call it? Super Friends or some shit?
I just said that, we're watching the assembly of something very different. Like all the right wing people hate him. The quote unquote right wing people.
The extreme right.
No,
right,
not
yeah.
extreme. No, some of the extreme right wing people do like him, but all the rhino Republicans hate him, and all the far left Democrats hate him, and it's like, well, what does that leave you with? That leaves you with a third party, and he's assembling all these like the most popular people in the world are like gravitating towards him, and he's like, nobody wants to be seen.
Oh, it's the cool thing to be a fucking Trump fan right now. Like, and 4 years ago, it wasn't, dude. Like,
nobody wants to take a picture with AOC now, unless you're a dork. and you know, like, nobody wants to take a picture with Mitt Romney unless you're a dork.
Yeah.
You know, like, now the cool thing is being like, you know, on this
but look
third
at,
party.
Yeah, Tulsi and RFK.
That's what I'm saying.
That's awesome,
right?
Yeah.
Like you're gathering.
I'm on the middle.
Momentum.
If I'm being honest, I'm on the middle. I think there's great things on both sides. I hate that you have to pick one or the other.
That's the worst
America
part.
needs to be done with.
Yeah.
America needs to be done with the two-party system.
It'll never happen, though.
But that's what I was saying.
There's too much money.
That's what I was saying to Bobby.
There's too much business.
You can't just say, "Hey, I'm third party" and expect to win.
Like Jeremy said, you got to shoehorn it in.
You need to torpedo it and show up R or D and just take it over. And they just figured it was easier to take over the R.
Well, that's the problem with the like political system. I think from me, I'm not rich. I'm not anything like everybody I know. It kind of trades down the middle. I feel like most of America would be an independent vote, but there's too much money. Like an independent candidate will never make the debate. They'll never make the ballot. Or they'll make the ballot at the bottom, but they're never given like screen time.
Who's really circling Kanye? You know, back in fucking 2020, was that 2020 that he was on the ballot?
Oh,
it was so
wild,
weird,
dude.
like
That was
seeing
awesome.
his name.
Yeah, he would have got rid of the alphabet, everything. He's a dumb motherfucker too. But like, I mean,
How dare you?
Yeah, everybody listening to this, I feel like can resonate because I think that most of normal America is down the middle, right? There's good things on both sides, but they've turned it into, are you Republican or are you Democrat?
And boy, how the coin is flipped too. Like one party used to be anti-war, now they're pro-war. Like it's just like there's so much that is like from when I was a kid that is just the exact, and you were a kid, the exact opposite of what these parties once were, have completely like a mirror image flip. And it's the worst part about it is it's just like it's the all fuck you scenario, no fuck you scenario. Like, you know, it's just like whatever they'll politicize. Well, politicizing, this is a prime example. Politicizing wildlife biology or science.
Yeah.
Why? Why the fuck are you doing that?
You can't politicize science, right?
Yeah.
Well, they did through COVID, but it shouldn't.
The facts are the facts, man. It's like
the scientific method is based off of I'm going to dispute. And if you can prove all of those wrong, it's proven fact. Right? COVID, all those things, no matter what you think, or you can say schmobid if that gets us banned. If it becomes fact when science gets to, you're peer reviewed, right? So if you come up with like a new organism, everybody in science gets a chance to dispute it. As long as you can argue it and you can beat every argument, you can explain it, then it becomes fact. But if you can't, then it's theory.
right.
We skipped over all that.
Oh, totally. And we've put political, well, even on genders, that's become a political value now where it's not.
It is, but I mean, at the same time, like, how many more genders are in the animal kingdom? If you want to break it down into things, seahorses, I think, are the only ones that are transgender.
Right.
I'll give it that. That's what I'm saying.
What about that thing that washed up on the beach, dude? Did we ever find out what that was?
What was that?
I don't know. Pull that up. I think I saved it on our Instagram. Did you see this thing in fucking Japan or some shit that washed up on the beach?
Oh, fuck.
It was like a transgender sea monster, dude. It was fucking.
It was years ago, right?
I don't know if it was years ago.
Where
I just
even
saw
is
it.
that? Where can I
Go to
find it?
saved.
Also, we apologize for dropping a nuke, you know? I mean, that brings different things.
Yeah. We're also the only country that's ever done it, dude. Like,
hopefully we're the last one.
fuck, man. Especially after like the news coming out today. I was just like,
We're definitely not
it
gonna
just
be the
ruined my
last one.
morning. I was on like such a high, and then
Dude, I texted you that at 5:30 this
I know.
morning.
I was like, God damn it, dude.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I don't think I even saw what you guys were talking about, but
Yeah, they're
So
enlighten me.
last night was the first long range missile that has been used against Russia since the Ukrainian.
they're sending American
From the
long-range
U.S.
rockets.
Yeah,
From the
the
U.S.
US.
I saw
yeah,
that, yeah.
yeah.
And the thing is like
Biden.
the only people
Put
that
that
know
in.
how to operate those things are NATO or Americans, not Ukrainians. So our fingerprints are all over that shit.
Here's the fucking thing again, like going down the middle, Democrat, Republican. How about we stop fucking with the rest of the world? We worry about our own people.
100%.
Wouldn't that
Yeah.
be sweet?
You know.
Yeah, because I have family that's in Asheville, North Carolina. Shout out to everybody that's there because I'm getting like real information, like boots on the ground of what is actually happening. Like crazy stories, dude. Like people driving other people to the grocery store and then having to stand in line for like fucking hours to just go in and then being limited to what you can buy, right? Because they're in the middle of this catastrophe zone, just like COVID, like, you know, you're only allowed to buy one package of toilet paper or whatever the fuck it was, dude. Like people were more concerned about wiping their ass than fucking what was happening to our economy at the time, dude. It's insane.
But then if you come to Denver, you could go into a store and walk out and nobody's allowed to touch you or it's a hate crime,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, no, it's
It's
wild.
I mean, I get it. When I see these like states in our country, you start looting, I'll be the first one looting if that happens in Colorado.
Yeah.
Because it's just unjust. We're doing all these things in the world. We're poking the fucking bear every which way. And
There's so many problems to solve here.
What about Maui?
Yeah.
That's
another
that
example.
dropped off the fucking map because
Well, the same thing with North
Dude,
Carolina. Have you
once-
heard anything
once
about
a
it? There's
week.
still people there with no fucking water.
Once a week,
No
I
water,
asked my wife
and they
if-
got a check for $700. Like the same
we
thing
remember Maui.
during the pandemic.
Yeah.
They sent everybody a check that hasn't totally lost their jobs. And not only that, they just sent everybody a check for $700. Just like to blanket it, right? It's not to people that actually like lost their jobs. There were still people that were earning paychecks that still got the same exact amount as somebody else did.
Yeah.
And
What if
then-
you canceled their check with a job that's still going? I mean, I know that's a lot to monitor, but here's the same thing. It's like
We can do a better
How much
system.
money have we sent to Ukraine?
Yeah.
Where's the itemized receipt? I feel like the American people deserve to see an itemized receipt of where my tax dollars went. Because at what point did they overpay? How many billions of dollars was it? I think I just saw Derek Wolf posted on Instagram today. Actually, you could pull it up. There was a government audit, and it was like $82 billion that they don't know where it went.
It's insane.
So
man.
fuck you on my taxes.
Yeah.
How about we cancel those this year?
Yeah.
You know? Or how about, go to Wolf's story. Wolf's pretty on top of it as far as politics. No, just click on his
Man, shout out to him,
story
man.
post.
His new podcast with Ironclad coming in.
Story.
Yeah. Have you had him on yet? Here you go. Pentagon fails 7th audit in a row.
You know,
Wait, go back.
You know what happened in 20?
Go back one, Jeremy, real quick.
You know what happened in 2020 when the Pentagon failed their audit?
Nothing.
Go back one more.
9/11.
Unable to account for $824 billion.
$824 billion.
But you can find. I got a bill from the IRS not that long ago for $100
Yeah.
of unpaid, and it was like 5 years ago. You could audit me, motherfuckers, but you can't. $824 billion. Fuck you.
God damn.
Well, that's
man.
the thing. Like they're hiring. What is that? Like 87,000 agents. Do you think they're going after billionaires?
No, fuck no. They're going after the
going after-
$100 people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know.
exactly. And they're giving them guns.
Apparently, I
Fuck.
apparently I underpaid by $100 or fucking whatever it was.
That's crazy.
Get out of here.
And it's easier
Yeah.
to pay that $100 than hire a lawyer to say no, fuck you. So that's what they're counting on.
But I mean, that's the point. Is like at some point, we the people, the government is not acting for we the people anymore. At some point, we the people should push against because
Well, I think we did this, and I think we did that in this last election. Honestly, man.
I mean, we'll
like
see.
I don't trust everything. I'm not like all my. But this is the first time where I feel like people showed up and voted on some values and not just a party and what they aligned with.
Maybe. So, when I said I tread down the middle is like, listen, I'm glad Trump won because the other side would have been way worse. But the last time he won, he was also going to prosecute Hillary. He was going to do a lot of things. He did a lot of great things for the economy. He did a lot of great things in general. But if you say it, do it. Otherwise, don't fucking campaign on it.
Yeah.
Totally. What did he say again? This time he's going to release the JFK files. I think he said that the last time.
Did he?
So I'm not a total, just hard in.
No, I'm not either, but I feel exactly the same way that you do. I don't like either of the options, to be blatantly honest with you, but I picked the best one that I thought that was best for the future of my children, dude. Like, that's
the one thing.
That's how I vote. Is it like I'm trying to vote on common sense.
I think if there's anything that's consistent with any candidate is that they overpromise and underdeliver.
Yeah, absolutely. But
in every and he really overpromises.
Yeah,
with Trump,
but he delivers some shit.
With Trump, the thing he knows is how to boom the economy, right? He
but
did
I
it
think
before.
Also, I think not in his defense a little bit. I think a lot of this, I think this first term, his first term, he was going to come in guns a-blazing. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. That's his fucking slogan.
Now he can't run again, so I'm excited for this one.
Well, and he's had a first run at it, right? Like
burn the house down.
Yeah, most of the
earth.
Most presidents are more successful in their second term because,
you got experience now.
Rogan said it best when he was on. The interview that him and Rogan did was fucking amazing because the questions that Rogan was asking is what the general public wanted to hear. It's what I wanted to hear.
But he dodged around quite a few of them. Too.
Oh, constantly. He had to keep going back to it, right? But it just proves proves the point. You're throwing somebody into a job, dude. You can't be an expert in anything in 4 years.
No.
I've had this podcast for 5 years, and
I've been fighting for
grown.
20, and I'm not an expert.
It's insane, right? So to expect somebody to come in and win a 4-year term, you have 4 years, and then the moment that you want to start making some moves, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Oh, you forgot about this. No, we can't do that because of this law is in place. You're changing the judicial system on some of these things to even make shit happen, man. And then once something is passed, the only reason I know this is because I follow wildlife biology so close and it being at the ballot and how it shouldn't be. So for them to overturn anything with the wolf reintroduction that they've done, they got to go back to the Supreme Court now.
And then the states.
It's insane. It's way harder to undo than it was to put it in. Even if all of a sudden wolves started eating people off the golf courses here, if that starts happening, it's not going to be a simple, just turn around and fix it. You're going to have to go to Supreme Court. It's going to happen for a year and a half.
But I bet before $300 billion that we gave to Ukraine would fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, it'll be too expensive.
Or hunting.
But what about the rest of the fucking money that we were giving everywhere?
No, it's crazy. Speaking of money, what do you think Tyson made in this last fight and Jake Paul? I mean, is it public?
I don't know. You're going to have to Google that before I guess.
Yeah.
I'd guess Tyson made 50 million.
I hope it's more than that. What does that say there? He made 40 million? Tyson takes home 20 million of his own.
I would never work again.
Well, I mean,
I know a lot of people say that off 1 million, but with 40 million, I could live off interest alone.
Hell yeah.
If I did nothing with it. But I would invest. Yeah.
Dude, you get 5.
Interest alone.
5, you're doing all right.
I wonder what Mike Perry's payout was. I mean, this one's had to be. This is probably the biggest card that they've ever put together.
I heard it was
for
like
Jake
7
Paul.
to 10. I don't know.
Really?
But for somebody like him, when the fuck was he going to make more money?
Why not, dude?
Tattooed face. He's not the smartest person.
Yeah.
I've met him before. Like I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know, man. My tinfoil hat comes on, and I legitimately think that there's like boxing is so. I love boxing, but it is crooked as fuck, man. Like
That's why I told all my friends.
there's so many commissions. There's so many different there's so many different loopholes and sanctions and managers and money and it's
in boxing, the contract is everything. In MMA, there's no negotiations on that. The fight's the fight. In boxing, there's glove size, glove brand, because glove brand matters.
round time, right?
Round time, the amount of rounds. I mean, I did hear rumors, and this is just a rumor. I don't know if this is verified, but I heard it early on when Paul and Tyson were negotiating that it was like if Tyson knocked him out in the first round, he wouldn't get paid anything. Who knows if it's true?
Oh, really? See, and that's where I came in because they were friends, right?
I don't know if they're friends or not, but I was saying the entire time Tyson's probably handcuffed by contract obligations. Because if you start nitpicking at a bunch of things, it's like...
Can they legitimately put that in the contract, though? Or is the contract... It's not public then, right?
Well, it depends. So I'm unfamiliar with professional boxing.
Uh-huh.
But from what I've heard, that there's a ton of negotiations. I know that you can do the brand of the gloves, the weight of the gloves, the rounds, all of that.
Well, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is I was like, I feel like,
And then
Jake Paul is basically buying fights because he hasn't really fought anybody his size.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
I'm his size.
I know.
I'm a
That's
world
what I'm
champion
getting
now.
at. Let's go.
There we go. I've been looking for a spot to say it. Like,
Yeah.
listen, I like what Jake Paul's done for combat sports, but at the same time,
He needs to test himself.
he's been fighting a bunch of 170-pound motherfuckers or old or retired. Nothing against them because I'm a fan of all of them.
Yes.
But at the same time, like, the guys that he's fought current to fighting are 170 pounds.
Jake Paul is a businessman.
He's 200 plus.
He's not a fighter.
I fight 205. I'm older. Pick on me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
How about that?
Well, that's what I was thinking when, like, fuck Canelo. I don't want to see that.
Canelo fights 140 fucking
I know.
pounds,
That's what
or
I'm saying. It's like,
what,
why?
152, I think?
And
Maybe
Jake's already
160?
dodging that. But, like,
But he's 200 plus.
If you are the perfect candidate for him because Jake is around your same size. He likes to fight former UFC guys. You got that under your belt. You're also a bare knuckle champion. I think it's a step up from...
I say no chance that would ever be accepted.
Unless he buys you. What if he came to you and was like,
Oh, he could buy me.
I'll give you $40 million.
You can't buy
but
me
you
to
can't
throw a
knock
fight.
me out, and you got to... I think that's what happened in the Tyson fight. Is like, we got to go to a decision, and I'm not going to knock you out. You're not going to... Because I felt like Jake was holding back.
Jake was holding back? No, I think he gave it everything he had. I don't care what
Really?
he says. He gave it everything he had. Was he going to knock Tyson out ever? Probably not.
No.
No.
How could you, man? It's
Tyson's
like...
experienced enough to, like, he rolls with the punches a bit. Like, did he ever get hit solid?
No.
No. Exactly. Jake is a good boxer.
I'm not saying that.
He's a decent boxer.
For the amount of time that he's been doing it, yes, I think he's incredible. Like I'm not saying the guy hasn't put any effort into it. I'm not saying that the guy hasn't, and I have no room to talk. I don't fight in any sort of professional manner at all.
He's better than people give him credit for.
I agree. I think I think for the amount of time that he's put in
and
what he's done what he's chosen to do, but he's also a businessman and he's picked his matches very, very smartly. Like I think the time is for him to actually prove himself. There's only so much hoodwinking that you can do.
He tried. He fought Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
Who's a legitimate boxer, but Tommy Fury's not like a boxer either.
Yeah, but
he's
so
a
did
pro
Francis
boxer.
Ngannou. It's like...
No, I know, but Tommy Fury is a pro boxer.
Yes.
That's Jake's loss. Tommy Fury, I don't think is ranked at all. And he's only been fighting influencers and all this stuff. So like Tommy Fury is Tyson Fury's brother, and he's gone the influencer route from Misfits. I think he's fighting Darren Till next.
Right.
Of course, like I'm gonna say, put me in line next because I'd fight either one of those guys, and that pays a lot more. But at the same time, I have a hard time because I actually like Jake Paul. I like him lobbying for fighter pay. I like him going at Dana White, but at the same time, if I'm fighting Jake Paul and he hits me with a bunch of contract obligations that handcuff me, I'll go to Dana White and be like, you want to match this? I'll agree to that. Pay me on the back.
Yeah.
How about that? I thought Tyson might do that. Maybe he did. Tyson's also 58 years old, right? Mike Tyson is a legend. You can never take that from him. You can never take everything he's ever done from him, but you, me, everybody else remembers the old Tyson. There is a part about getting older in the sport where your brain sees it, you feel great, but your body doesn't react, right? Your brain and your body can be two different organisms. You see it, and your body does not react the same as when you're young.
Oh, I know. I'm going to be 45 this year, dude. I can attest to this. And I'm not an old guy, but I'm not.
But I'm
not as sharp as I was when I was 19 or 20 years old.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And it's not the year of the car; it's the mileage, right?
Yes.
So you could be the same age as Tyson, but you don't have the same mileage.
Well, I just think about it like I wouldn't step into the ring with these motherfuckers with Jake Paul, and I'm 45. And I'm not in horrible shape. Definitely not in fight shape. Maybe if I had a fight camp, yeah, but. And I was getting paid $20 million, probably.
Hold on, but here's my question, because we have somebody who has perspective in the room.
Yeah.
You're watching this 3-minute long video of what this guy looks like. Is that the same guy that was in the ring? Because, okay, not the weightlifting, but like watch how this dude's working.
Well, just him hitting the mitts.
Hitting the mitts.
Pull up, like him hitting.
Right here. This is a 3-minute long. This is a bad dude. Like,
well, here's what I'm saying is like on the mitts. I know Tyson still has it. Like he's snappy. Like he's probably faster than me. Fact. Like I'm not fast anyway.
Right, but the excuse was I'm old and I'm tired. That doesn't look like an old tired dude.
No, but I mean bags don't hit back and everything. And again, no disrespect on Tyson at all. You can never take anything from that man.
No.
The fact of the matter is that his brain was saying, yeah, let's take it. Let's do it. And he is fast here. But when it comes down to hitting a bag, hitting pads, and everything is different. And I'm not saying anything he doesn't know.
Yeah.
But
everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth is one of his lines, right? Like
I'm not a legend, but I'm saying it's a hard thing to say when you're like, I'm not young enough to compete anymore. I don't think you could take anybody like.
If that's been the majority of your life, right?
Give me a retired.
Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, give me a retired athlete that's 40. In their 40s. Any athlete, any sport.
Any athlete, any sport. Derek Wolf.
Yeah. Okay. He's been out a couple years. If they paid him a bunch of money to come back for one game, they're like, you have to hit 3 sacks to hit this game. Or to get paid.
You versus Tom Brady.
Yeah. It's
or
different.
Phillip Rivers. He fucking hated Phillip, right?
When you're out of the game, you're out of the game. Like, Derek's one of my fucking great friends. And, and I would say this to his face, like, if you had to come back and get ready for a couple weeks, and then your contract was based on 2 or 3 sacks.
Yeah.
Can you do it? Like,
no, and I wasn't knocking. I think so many people have been on that bandwagon of knocking Tyson.
I didn't think you were
and also Jake, both. I just think it was a poor, for as much hype and as much everything that was behind it, I wish it would have went better for Tyson. That's I want to see
the sale, though.
Yeah.
Jake Paul is a master salesman, that for sure.
That's what I'm getting at with him as a businessman. But where I was really going with it is I want to see you fight him. Listen, I want to see you fight Jake.
I want to see me fight him too.
For the paycheck, mostly.
I mean, I'd love the paycheck, but I also think that like I'd put a wager on it, win or lose.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, because I'm on the cusp, right? I'm on my way out. I'm retiring soon. I've not denied that anything. I'm on my way out. Is he younger than me, faster than me? Probably. But I still have some fight in me. Tyson has been doing movies and
Podcasts.
to his face, like, I would probably say this, but like, do you have the same fight? Do you? Like, is this what you're living on? I still live on
God,
this
dude,
shit.
Tyson at fucking 27 would have fucking murdered Jake, dude.
Oh, it would have been
murdered.
There would have been no question.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a disconnect between the brain and the body. And like, when do older athletes know when to shut it down? Stipe is one of my good friends.
Yeah.
He was half a second.
Oh, that was heartbreaking for me to watch. I fucking love Stipe, dude. Like, just his whole...
He's
like,
the man.
he's a real firefighter or something, isn't he? Like,
like full time.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome,
Legend.
dude.
Stipe is a fucking legend, right? I was his assistant coach on The Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, that's
Undefeated.
right. Yeah.
I love that guy. And I mean, even when Stipe was heavyweight champion of the world, my brother fought in Ohio, weighed in. My brother used to have really bad weight cuts. Stipe was like, oh, I'll give him an IV because he's a fireman.
Oh, no shit.
And I was like, where at? And he's like, I'll come wherever you guys are. He came to us as the heavyweight champion of the world to give my brother an IV. We didn't pay him. We didn't do anything. Like, all around good dude.
Just genuinely a good guy.
Yeah. Absolute, one of the best guys I know. One of the most, like, morals, values, everything.
Oh, that makes me even a bigger
Solid
fan.
fucking dude.
Yeah.
Like, if your car broke, like Stipe, when we filmed The Ultimate Fighter, he kept being like, I can't wait to get home and mow my lawn. Like, he likes simple life. He told us that
Crazy, dude.
every day.
That's
I can't-
badass.
And he had like the John Deere.
He's
like,
still a
mower.
firefighter, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He said he'll be a firefighter till the day he died.
That's awesome.
When he won the heavyweight championship, all the guys from the station picked up his shifts during training camp. He said Monday morning when he beat Cormier, he had to wash the toilets. That they were like, oh, you owe me on these chores.
So he was a firefighter when he was a world champion.
He's been a firefighter before fighting.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. So those guys his station, they all cover his shifts and everything else. And then after, he has to pay it back. And he always does. He's
That's
a good
fucking
dude.
cool. Yeah.
He's a good dude.
I hope he got a paycheck from this last one. I'm sure that he did.
I'm sure he did too.
Yeah.
I haven't asked him, but I'm sure he did. But at the same time, like, that's a good dude. Paid his dues, but also still like humble enough. And
I didn't want to see him go out like that though, man. Like, you never do.
but everybody does.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game on an athlete. Stay too long, you go out rough.
Right.
GSP rode off into the sunset. Who beat him?
Yeah.
He lost fights, but you don't even remember.
Yeah.
He left a legend. And like Stipe will still leave a legend.
Khabib did the same thing.
He lost one fight. Stipe lost one fight. But he waited 4 years for that fight.
Yeah, that's
Or
insane
3
to
years
me.
for that fight. Something like that.
That's crazy.
And I mean,
To come back after having 4 years off, that's
business is
how
business.
hard
though.
is that, man? Like,
The
yeah.
paycheck.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, I hope he at least got a payday out of it. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that it sets him and his family up for the rest of his life.
He absolutely did. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I don't know this, but I'm sure he got pay-per-view points and he got paid.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is like, I'll do anything for money. You will too. Tyson
Yeah.
did. You come back on retirement. How long has Tyson been retired? He fought Roy Jones in an exhibition match.
Right.
Before that, it had been 15 years. What?
Yeah, it was more than that, right? And it's not like he wasn't making money. He had movie deals. He was doing like stand-up comedy. He had like a comedy special. Like,
I just mean from an athlete's mind.
oh yeah. I think it's probably, because you've performed at the highest level in some of the biggest organizations in the fight game for a long time. It's going to be hard for you to walk away from, I would imagine, right? Like, there's a point of, like, I don't think people realize what professional fighters actually put their bodies through to be in shape, through fight camps, through all the ups and downs, the highs, the lows. I mean, there's probably way more lows in your career than there are highs, I would imagine, right? Where you're fighting through injuries and just fucking everything, man. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, and then here's what I mean. It's like the hardest part for an athlete isn't to retire or anything else, but to admit you can't hang anymore. So, for example, do you have a daughter?
Yeah, I got 2.
Did you play sports growing up?
I played sports growing up, yeah.
Where'd you play?
I played at Evergreen.
No, what?
Oh, what did I play? Football. I wrestled, played baseball.
We'll just use wrestling or baseball. What position did you play?
So baseball catcher.
Okay.
I'm
Your daughter,
ashamed to admit that.
Lazy.
Hey, catcher's great. I was a catcher growing up. Catcher's great, but your daughter starts dating a star pitcher. And you're like, pitch me a ball. And he's like, nah, I can't do it full speed. Like, you won't catch it. And you're like, fuck you, I won't catch it. What do you mean? Like, you have this like chip on your shoulder. You grew up a catcher. And then he zings one, you don't even see it. That's what that is. Like,
Right.
your daughter grows up, dates another fighter. You're Mike Tyson, but you're 70 years old. You're 60 years old. And she's dating a professional boxer who's a badass. And he's like, oh, you can't hang with me? Let's spar.
Yeah.
Like, you realize your reactions don't catch up. That is, like, crushing to you. Because in your mind, you're Mike Tyson.
It's humility, man.
In your mind, you're Mike Tyson. You're like, I would have fucking murdered you in my 20s.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to accept.
Yeah, I think
I don't know if that makes
really
full sense, but...
Yeah, I saw a meme today that was awesome. It was like, it was all these lions. It was like a Bible meme, dude, of all things. But it was all these lions, and it was like professional fighter, jiu-jitsu world champion, all this sort of stuff, right? I think Beto might have posted it, actually. And then it was a guy in a black Coke, and it just said Glock 19, dude. It was like...
I know.
You know what I mean? It's like...
The same example I'm making is like, you're Mark McGuire.
Right.
Your daughter starts dating a college pitcher.
Yeah.
From, I don't know. I don't follow baseball that much, but whatever great college. He's a
Baseball
pitcher.
was the worst sport I was at.
He's a pitcher.
Well, that and basketball, too.
He's a pitcher, and he's like starstruck to meet you. You're Mark McGuire, and he's like, oh, shit. Like, you're the home run king, you know?
Yeah.
I'm saying Mark McGuire, but there was Sammy Sosa and all these other motherfuckers before. But in my day, it was Mark McGuire. Sammy Sosa, I don't count. But then your daughter has a boyfriend who's a pitcher. Maybe it's a nobody college. And he's like, man, I would love nothing more than to throw pitches at you and see if you can hit it.
Oh, 100%.
And he strikes you out. But you're Mark fucking McGuire, and you're like, I'm the home run king, this, that.
Yeah.
But you're past your time. It's not that you're worse. It's that you're past your time.
Right.
You know, that's Mike Tyson.
It's knowing when to ride off into the sunset, right? I think.
Like, would I feel good about beating up a 50-year-old man?
Fucking nobody would, man.
Or a 60-year-old man? No,
Yeah.
fuck no.
Yeah. I think you could see some of that in Jake's fight, too.
Nah, I don't think he can. I think he's great for the sport. I think he does a lot of great things. I think he has no shame, obviously. I think that to be a social media influencer now, you have to have no shame and not give a fuck what people think. But at the same time, if you have respect for yourself, it's like, right now, Houston Alexander fights for BKFC. He's been ranked number 1 forever. He's like 6-0. I'll fight him if they make me fight him. He said he's had no title aspirations, which is awesome by me.
Doesn't he fight a weight class below you, too?
No, we fight the same weight
Oh,
class.
we do? Okay.
He doesn't want to fight for the title, apparently. I don't want that fight. I have no problem fighting him, and I think I smoke him, but at the same time, what the fuck do I get out of beating him? I beat him, and people are like, congratulations, you beat a guy 20 years older than you.
Right.
That's it. I think.
So what is, I mean, because that was one of my questions for you coming up, friend or if we had the mics on or not, is like if you were Feldman, what's the next move? What's the next matchup? Like you have the belt, how soon? I mean, it was a first round knockout. Like how soon do you think something's going to be put together, and who's it looking like?
Fuck, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't really care. The bare knuckle rankings to me, I'm like, don't care. I'll fight all.
Well,
of
it's
them.
crazy because like, I mean,
I'll be the champion a long time if you make me go by the rankings. They know that too. There's nobody in the rankings that will beat me. And
let's go.
Let's
rain.
I don't mean to be an
like
arrogant fuck.
Yeah.
There's the Lorenzo Hunt fight, right?
Yeah, but he can't. I mean,
We had
for
a split
those that
decision.
don't know, he's been. Yeah, it was a split decision. It should have went to that fifth. Was it a fifth round or sixth round?
6.
Should have went to a sixth round, and then
But that's
he
fine.
turned around and got popped. So
Like-
now he can't even fight for how long is that suspension? It's like through a commission. It's like 18 months or some shit, right?
I think it's 18 or a year and a half.
That's a fucking long time, dude.
So that's a hard fight for me.
Right.
Oh, no problem admitting that. Everybody else in the rankings, I'm like, I hope you're ready to pay me a lot. Otherwise, I'll retire.
Yeah.
But I'm here for, they told me win the belt. That's when like the real money comes. So I'm here for the real money. Just bring me something exciting. Lorenzo's exciting to me. Nobody else is. I'll fight the other guys, but you're going to have to pay me a lot.
What about some new, like, I mean, they've pulled like you over from the UFC, Mike Perry. I mean, what if there was some new blood in there?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, exciting.
Something exciting.
Make
right.
it exciting.
Like Perry Rockhold or,
Absolutely.
yeah, that was exciting, man. That was, who else was on that card? Chad Mendez, and who did Mendez fight?
Eddie Alvarez.
That's, dude. And then you got Connor showing up. I mean, how much is Connor a part of BKFC now? Didn't he buy into,
Yeah, he's part owner.
is he?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So he helped me out a ton. Like after that knockout, like he posted all over the place. He hit me
Oh,
up.
fuck
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I've done seminars at Connor's gym, and like I'm like, yeah, let's fucking run with this.
Yeah.
I'm in. I need BKFC to be in.
Is there any other, like, okay, so the UFC guys they're untouchable. Why they have that contract? I mean, Francis Ngannou's made that very clear. A lot of fighters.
I'll send you the
I like
contract if you want
Connor's.
to see it.
Connor's the only one that's been able to step out and like put it 1 foot. He's such a superstar. He's the only guy that's been able to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of type of deal, right?
Not really.
Who else?
Well, you can't step out, step in.
Right.
He got to fight Floyd because the UFC got to be co-promoter.
Right.
They got to take their cut because they own you.
Yeah, that's a big thing. But what other organizations like Bellator or PFL or like some of these other organizations, could some of those fighters, because of their contracts, could they cross over into BKFC, or is that a no-go?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all dependent. I mean, I'm still open to fight MMA.
Right.
My contract says I can't fight bare knuckle for anybody else. I'm completely open to MMA, but I'll do both.
Yeah.
You know, like Jake Paul's pushing PFL so hard. How about I box you, and then I'll fight you MMA?
Yeah.
Or maybe we cut BKFC. How about we box?
Who did you
bare
just
knuckle?
call out for MMA? Oh, Connor. I think he was
Yeah.
calling out Connor. But Connor's like half his fucking size, dude.
Oh, that matches the story. Again, I like what Jake does, but
He's a businessman.
I put
Straight
it on
up.
Twitter right after the fight. Like, his opponent selection has been very selective. Like, it's been very apparent of his opponent selection.
Yeah.
He fought Mike Perry from BKFC. Mike Perry is the face of BKFC, but a horrible boxer. He's just a brawler.
He's just a fucking dog.
Swing wild.
Yeah.
He's a dog. He's not a boxer. I can't call myself a boxer because I've never competed professionally boxing, but
But I think that that's part of the edge of the appeal to BKFC. Like somebody like Gertz, man, like fucking is so exciting to watch.
yeah.
Even with a torn bicep and going 5 rounds in the distance and just like
Gertz is a fucking
He's
animal.
a fucking animal, dude. He's an animal like when he sits down and is talking to you, dude. He's just a different human, man.
I talked to him
Love
yesterday.
that guy.
He was going up to his land to build a house. He's like, I'm starting a house. And he's in a fucking brace.
Were you in here for Gertz's podcast, Jeremy? I
Dude,
think you were.
I like.
No, I think Maddie was here.
No, I was there, and I kind of want to be like on his like labor team. Like the guy's injured. I kind of want to help him out. Like,
Yeah, we should. It's just up the road.
You don't wanna
Gertz,
be
if
on
you're
that.
listening to this.
You don't want to be on that team. He won't listen to shit.
No, I'm just like, dude, this is the path.
I talked to him.
That guy's a machine.
I love that guy.
It was yesterday or 2 days ago, and he was going to cut down trees on his property. And I was like, dude, you're in a sling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He goes, yeah, I got one hand.
that's a guy that you
Like,
need to.
he's
follow.
going to cut down trees with one fucking hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, he's an
He's that
animal.
little Teddy Roosevelt motherfucker, you know? Like he's a different human, man.
Yeah. Here's the thing that like I can round out to like what we've been talking about of making fights. One thing the UFC has done amazing is that they own the contracts to people, right? So in the UFC, the reason the UFC is more appealing to people now than boxing is that the best fight the best.
Yeah, you can't really say no, right?
Bellator and PFL have some good people, but they don't have the best. Okay, Francis Ngannou left. He left as champion. There's one. Nobody else. Michael Chandler had to leave Bellator to come to the UFC, and he's become a star.
Right.
He put on fucking bangers of fights,
Dude,
and
he
I love
is.
Chandler.
I love watching him or Gaethje or like I love watching Dustin Jacoby, like
Yeah, I know
because
Chandler
I know it's going to
personally,
be fireworks.
love him, everything, but he was never champion.
Yeah.
The UFC has the best fighters in MMA.
And they promote the best production, like the whole package.
They know how
It's
to build
like-
a star.
It's like watching boxing now and the build up and just like the entrances and all that is fucking exhausting before you even get to the fight, man. Like that's one thing. The UFC does their walkout. It's one fucking song. You make it to the ring. We're banging. There's a little bit of commentary in between. Boom. They're on to the next fight, man. There's no downtime. There's no latency. There's just enough for commercials. and
Just
that's
get in the
it.
fucking ring and fight.
Yeah.
it's a proper production.
It is, man.
Yeah.
It's professional. It's the most professional production. But you start getting into like, I'll take that back, man. The Canelo fucking entrance from in Mexico City. I've done a lot of crazy shit, like Super Bowl halftimes with like people flying out of the Superdome, you know, out of the fucking roof and just like all kinds of crazy shit. And like the amount of production that was behind that Canelo entrance was fucking amazing, dude. It looked like they hung the goddamn moon over that stadium. That's an open air stadium. I can't wrap my head around how they even did it.
But he's still in the ring within a minute and a half.
Yeah, that was done really well. Whoever designed that knew what the fuck they were doing. Like he hired a proper like production designer. And Jeremy, don't show it because I mean me and Chris can watch it. Just don't put it on 3 because we'll get copyright. We got copyrighted the last time. Yeah, this was badass, man. Did I watch this with you the last time you were
I don't
up
think
here? No. It's not this one. It's not at T-Mobile. Go back. It's the one at the top, the 348. So yeah, it was 3
we saw
minutes for him
this.
to come out.
Yeah.
Fucking commercials.
Okay, it was 3 minutes. I said a minute and a half. Double that, you know. whatever.
Yeah, no, it should be half a song. You know, it should be.
Yeah. this
As long as
is
it's entertaining for
fucking
the fans.
crazy.
Yeah, but look at this thing. That's an open air stadium. Look at the mother grid
Where's this at?
above it. This is in Mexico City
Oh, Guadalajara.
or Guadalajara. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Look at that right there.
This shit is wild, dude. He had like fucking 1,000 mariachi dudes on the fucking stage, dude. Like,
Nothing's
swear to
worse.
God, man. Like, look at all the mariachi dudes back there.
I would just like to say nothing is worse than being the other guy in the ring.
Oh yeah, you got to wait for all this shit.
Whenever you're in there, you're the first person out, and then there's a big ring entrance.
Yeah,
You're standing there like an asshole in the ring. You don't know what to do.
right.
You don't just like talk to your coaches. For me, I'm like pacing around, like, what do I do? And then the guy has a 10-minute fucking entrance.
Yeah,
it's kind of infuriating, and it's also a good move.
Is that kind of like when you see those guys standing there watching people doing the haka from like New Zealand? And
Yeah.
they're just kind of standing there.
Bro,
Like,
I think the most
like, duh. And all these people on the other side are doing something like really cool looking.
Well, the problem is what you see. So what TV sees.
right.
But usually the other guy, through all the commercials and everything, has already walked out.
Right.
So you got to think you're in there.
You're for fucking ever. Dude, that's honestly why, well, number one, the reason why I don't like going to the fights is because there's always fucking some assholes that are starting, like if you're just sitting in the normal seats, like at BKFC, I had a media badge. Shout out to them for hooking me up. That was super fucking cool. But so to be, you know, in the normal crowd, and actually at this last BKFC, I didn't see any shenanigans, but normally there's fist fights that break out because there's a lot of alcohol involved. You got fight fans
Everybody's
that
a
are
fighter.
there. Everybody's a tough guy. And then the next thing you know, somebody spills somebody's beer or somebody looks at somebody's chick or whatever, right? Like it's just fucking crazy. Like I saw the last one that we went to up in Brimfield, or no, it was the night that Perry and what
Broomfield.
number was that?
That was in Broomfield.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, First Bank.
It was at First Bank. Dude, I was in the parking garage. I parked my car in the parking garage like a dumbass and didn't take a fucking Uber there. I had a hotel downtown. But I was like, I'm not drinking tonight, you know? So anyways, I'm trying to leave the parking garage and there's a fucking asshole in his car like ramming into another car. Like there's no, like this was like beyond fighting, dude. This was like
You're getting shot
assault
if
with a
that's my
deadly weapon. And I'm just watching this go down. I'm like, holy shit. And now everybody's stuck in the parking garage for 2 hours until the cops show up because they've just clogged the whole. It was ridiculous. I honestly
It's your new friends.
I reparked my car. I got in an Uber and just left my car there overnight.
gonna wait.
I was like, I'm going to Tom's.
There we go.
Let's go. That was dude, your after parties are the best, man. So much fun.
We have a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time. I'm sorry I didn't catch up with you last time, but my son's championship game was the next, or was a playoff game or something.
He got a
the
cooler
next
ring than my
morning.
belt.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Let's go.
Shout out to him.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. So
You mind if I run to the bathroom?
no,
Hey.
let's break again.
No, you keep chatting.
Yeah.
I want to
So-
see you hold it down.
I'm the worst by myself.
No, you're not.
Not
Talk
by
about the
yourself,
fight.
baby.
But yeah, Chris's after parties are the best, man. Like the whole Tom's Watch Bar,
Strippers.
fucking Conor McGregor, Chuck Liddell, fucking all kinds of brass running around.
Yeah, it's crazy. In the middle of the club.
Fuck, I don't
I think
know.
it's a
I
win.
never go to clubs when I'm in Vegas. Like Hakkasan, I got invited to Hakkasan so many times. I'm like, dude, why would? They're like, you don't want to go smoke weed with Snoop Dogg? I'm like, I do, but not
No,
in a
but we were just
nightclub.
drinking.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got the American Express like zipped through the line. My brother had never like zipped through the line before, and he was freaked out. He's like, "What about all these poor people who are waiting in line?" and I'm like,
Shut the fuck up.
"Shut the fuck up, dude!" So we went into the line, and we got a table, and their table service and everything. And the table next to us was Chuck Liddell, and my brother ended up hanging out with Chuck Liddell all night. And I'm like, fucking just brought this dude out of Pennsylvania. He's hanging out with Chuck.
But this is a guy that's never been
forever.
around like anything like that in his
Never been
life,
around
right?
anything in his life.
Loses their minds.
Stands up and he's just like, "Hey, check me out." And he's like,
Wait,
it's
you
one
mean-
of the most glorious images of my life?
That's the best, man, is hanging out, having somebody hang out that's like from a rural area that has never experienced a famous person in their life. And like,
Yeah.
dude, you can make that person's,
Well, they
that'll be
realize-
the stories that they'll tell
and they realize
on their
that-
deathbed, dude.
Yeah.
They realize like some of these people are just like normal people.
But that's
you
a
know?
majority of the country, man. Like a majority of the country has like,
Do you mind if I ask, like, you said your brother's gone. Did he pass away?
Yeah,
Do you still have that picture?
dude, it's in my head.
Oh.
This is like
I was going to say, if you did,
2000
I would love
this
to
is
get
the
it.
disposable camera era.
2003, and I'm like looking over at him, and I'm like, what the fuck's my brother doing hanging out with Chuck Liddell? Like, what the fuck?
I didn't mean
Like-
to ask a sensitive question. I was
No,
gonna
no,
say,
it's
like,
not
if you
sensitive at
did,
all.
maybe we could get it signed by like Chuck. Like,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
for you.
No, dude, I appreciate that, but it was just like a moment in time. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Jeremy, he's very humble about it, but like, dude, he's done fucking gigs at the White House, like all kinds of crazy shit. Like that flag right there is a flag that Jeremy brought in, and it's from the White House at Trump's inauguration.
That's fucking cool.
It's pretty fucking cool, dude. Like, it's cool to have a flag, but it's more badass if there's like some history behind it. You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking cool.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up
No.
like that stuff, but
No,
it's-
that's badass.
It's always hard, man.
I heard part of the story.
Yeah.
Like,
No, his brother was just this rural, like blue collar dude, never experienced anything. Jeremy and his boss, was your boss, took him to Vegas,
him out
right?
to
Like just
CES.
like for the first time.
went to CES and
oh yeah.
Okay.
CES is a good time.
fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
It's the craziest time in
And
Vegas.
this kid has never like left Pennsylvania, right? Pretty
Yeah.
much, right?
Yeah.
And is in Vegas all of a sudden for the first time. And then they go to some nightclub, get to skip the line. And his brother is like, they're skipping the line because you tell the story. I don't know why I'm telling your
it
fucking
was a
story.
black-
Tell Chris.
My buddy had a black card, and he just called up and he's like, "Yo, I want to go to." I'm trying to think of the club, whether it was at the Wynn, like the one with the waterfall. It was
XS.
crazy. No,
With the pool.
that doesn't.
Oh, that one's
This
badass.
is, dude, this is like 25 years ago, like it's a long time ago. But yeah, it's like my brother shows up and he's a fucking monster. He's 6'3" and like 250, like carries himself well. And who the fuck's this guy? And then like the table that Liddell was sitting at was just like, hey, who are you? And he's like, fucking, I got a bottle of tequila. And he walked over and just sat down with them. And they started hanging out. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on over here? And yeah, they just ended up hanging out the entire night. It was really cool. He's like, yo, this is my buddy Chuck. And
You're like, wait a minute.
but like, I wish I had a camera phone then,
Yeah.
because that image doesn't exist. So
Yeah, that's what I was asking. I was like, man, that would be actually badass.
Dude,
If you tell that
total-
story if you still
total
had it.
fucking
Yeah.
party
I'll get
night.
it like Chuck to sign it or something.
That'd be
Can you
awesome.
I mean, Chuck lives there, right? So he's had 1,000 of those. But that was a big deal to my brother.
You'd be surprised what guys remember.
To somebody that's never experienced famous people or anything like that, like that's the biggest moment probably in your brother's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah,
Like it's
that was
some
a big
stuff
deal.
that
Well, I'm also saying you'd be surprised what famous people remember.
Oh,
Because,
yeah.
like, the guy that acts like you're nobody but like fun and cool, I gravitate towards those guys. Like, I'm not a big celebrity like Chuck Liddell, but if I'm at a place and everybody's like, oh, take a picture, and then I have some like big drunk dude that comes up to me, he's like, who the fuck are you? But like cool.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I like you. Like, I remember that more than I do like
Right.
just like snapping a quick picture, because it's always like,
It's those real human connections, I think, right? Like I've seen it firsthand. It's like when you have a connection with somebody, it's just different than just like, hey, can I get a picture with you? Or
and then they
you're
walk
amazing.
off.
Yeah. But
Somebody leaves
it's
an impression.
intimidating as fuck, dude. Like
Somebody leaves an impression on you because, again, I'm not like a big celebrity. I've never been like
Yeah.
Chuck Liddell where I walk into a place and everybody's mobbing me, but only at my after parties. But like, out
dude,
in-
this last
out-
time I couldn't even say hi to you. I was like, I came over and like gave you like a quick hug or whatever, and I was like, I'm just so stoked for you to have your moment. But I was like, ah, fuck.
But I mean, to be
felt
able
bad.
to walk into Vegas
Yeah.
and then like, I feel like you're almost taken off when somebody's like, this is my buddy Chuck. Like, what's your last name again or whatever? Like,
Yeah.
you remember that. To me, you do, because like, I don't
Right.
know, that's cool. Because normally I feel like, and I've worked around.
Have you
a lot
ever
of-
been starstruck by anybody? Like, because you've met a lot of fucking
Nah.
famous people. Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I like the craft of a lot of things, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I've never been like, oh my God, I'm going to die if I don't get this photo or whatever.
No, I mean, just like somebody walks in the room that unexpected, or like been in a room and made like I've made an ass of myself a couple times.
I don't think so, but I mean, like, I met Stevie Wonder and worked for him before, and like, that was cool.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of
Stevie's
like an icon, you know?
Yeah.
But I wasn't like fumbling my words or anything. Like
Right.
I held it down for my job, but at the same time I was like, that's Stevie fucking Wonder. Like my mom is a fan of Stevie Wonder, you know?
Yeah.
So that was cool. I think even the Ultimate Fighter, having Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz walk in, like when I got on the Ultimate Fighter, those were like the icons of the sport. And I didn't know who the coaches were until like I think the day before. And then I was like, oh shit, it's Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. So that was cool, like watch them walk in, but I was never like fumbling my words or like dying to, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're just a person to me for the most part. I've always been like that. I'm the worst person to meet celebrities.
I kind of am too, man. Like I've never really been. There was one moment when I first started working for the Chili Peppers, because I was such a big fan of them, like growing up. Like I was a bigger fan of Flea and Fear. Love that band. Still to this day, love that band. But I was coming down one of the VOMs in the arena, and Anthony Kiedis, and it was just me and Anthony Kiedis in the hallway. And he's like,
I said, back off, War Child. Seriously.
No, so, but I just was unexpected. I was like hauling ass to like go get something down the fucking one of the VOMs or something, right, to build their stage or something. I was like a little peasant at that point. But I just like ran around the corner, and he's like, hey, how's it going? And I just didn't fucking say anything back to him. He must have been like, fuck this guy, dude. Like, but I didn't know what to say. I was like, it was just a moment. Like that was the only time because it caught me by surprise. And then one other time, Super Bowl 50, actually, not with any of the players. Like I'm the biggest Broncos fan to this day, but grew up a Broncos fan. So being there was like surreal, and having a credential to be on the field the whole time.
Yeah. That'd be
But the only time I've ever gotten goosebumps, and it's giving me goosebumps right now thinking about it, and I've done a bunch of shows where Lady Gaga was on them, whether they was VMAs or like other stuff. But when she came in, we had this little bitty stage that we rolled out. It was like half the NFL logo, like the shield. And we had to roll it out for the national anthem. And she sang the national anthem at Super Bowl 50. And when she did the rehearsal, it was just me, my buddy Kyle, because we were putting the staging piece in place. There was like a couple volunteers, her management. They actually kicked the volunteers out that pushed the actual stage out. So it was just us
Of course.
and like the show designer, and she sang the national anthem to the empty stadium and just us, and I got fucking goosebumps, dude. She can sing like, it's unbelievable, dude. The
Was
only
it the
singer
national
to-
anthem or her that got you?
No, it was the national anthem. I don't think she's that hot, man. Like, I don't know why I'm whispering that.
She's super
Everybody
hot.
can hear this. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't do it for me.
I don't either, man. I don't either.
But yeah. But
yeah, I have an opposite of Starstruck moment.
yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm kind of embarrassed by it now. It was after a fight. I fought in Nashville once, and I was married at the time. My ex-wife was with me, and we were at a bar after. So we went to this private bar in Nashville. So walked
Nashville's
in.
fun, dude.
Yeah,
It's on Broadway.
It was kind of crazy for me. Like, so it was I went with the UFC executives after the fight. So we walked down this alley, and it's a private place. We walk up in the alley. There's a guy in the suit out there, and he's like, "How many you got?" And he tells him, and I'm just fortunate enough to be in this group, not because anybody fucking knows me or anything. And I'm like, I have stitches in my face. They let us in. We go in, we walk in, and it's like, I don't know, 3,000 square foot bar.
Hey, kill the volume on this because we'll get copyright shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
This would be perfect. All right, never mind.
And so we walk in this private bar, and Justin Timberlake is on the stage, like playing the drums and like singing. And I'm like, oh shit, and I mean, I just fought, so I don't really give a. The thing about fighting is like once the adrenaline dumps, like you don't give a shit about anything. I've got stitches all through my eyes, like top and bottom. Everything's for there. And I'm noticing this bar, like I go up to the bar to buy a drink. They give me the drinks. I go to hand them money, and they're like, no, we don't take cash here. it's a private place.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I'm looking at the lockers. There's like Carrie Underwood, Kid Rock, everything. So it's a membership bar. But I went with the UFC executive.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's like a musician's secret room or some shit, huh?
Yeah. And so we're at the bar, and like the Kings of Leon are there.
Okay. Yeah.
And I wouldn't know what they look like if they walked past me right now.
Yeah.
But my ex-wife,
a little
was like,
panty dropper band, right? They had that song. I can't even remember.
Yeah. My ex-wife is like, oh, that's so and so, and I was like, I knew her aunt was a friend of or fan of theirs. So I was like, oh shit, can I get a picture with you guys? Like, her aunt is like the biggest fan of yours because her aunt was a diehard Kings of Leon fan.
Okay.
My ex-wife leans over and she's like, it's not the Kings of Leon, that's the Lumineers. And so I looked at her and I was like, oh, never mind. Like, I'm drunk and adrenaline dump and fucked up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait, never mind. But they lined up for a picture.
Anyways.
And then I said, never mind. And they were like, what? And I was like, oh, yeah, sorry. I was thinking of a different band. But that just came out. I didn't actually mean to like say that.
Oh,
but I'm
awesome.
like, it's hard to explain. Like after a fight,
I've been in a couple moments.
I didn't get knocked out. I didn't fucking die on TV. Everything, like, once that drops, you kind of lose like your like bearings of like life. So I was like, oh shit, never mind. Sorry, she's a fan of blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I'm like explaining it to them. And they're like, yeah, okay, cool. Like,
but they probably never forgot you. Like, you remember that one time? Like, I've been with
like
rock
the
stars.
Biggest asshole because I like both. I mean, I think both are great. And I was just doing it because I was like, oh, her aunt will think this is cool. We'll send it to her. I mean, outside of that, I would never take a picture with either. But I mean, they have great music.
Yeah.
You know,
The Lumineers are badass.
Just felt like a
good
dickhead.
songs. It's so funny. I've seen some of the rock stars that I've been with. We've been out just like fucking like a day off, like just having a good time. And they're so used. They get so used to people like, hey, can I get a picture with you? Can I get a picture with you? Can I get a picture with you?
Yeah.
But I've seen this happen to two different people, two different lead singers of bands. And they're like, hey, would you mind taking a picture? So they automatically like put their arm around like a girl or something. And they're like, the girl's looking at them like, what the fuck? No, will you take a picture of us? And they're like, oh shit, sorry, because they have no idea that this person is a rock star or somebody uber famous, right? It's like
all the
it's
single
so
dudes
funny
out
how
there.
it's like flipped.
All the single dudes out there, that's a go-to move. If you're into a girl, you walk up to her and ask her to take a picture of you and your friends.
Yeah.
Catch her off guard.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
Shit, we dove off. I don't even know what we were talking about prior to. It doesn't even matter. Yeah. You want to wrap it up, dude?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Chris, dude, thank you so much for coming up. Congratulations on the championship, man. I can't wait to see what's next for you and your reign at this, man. Like, I'm super excited.
It's Jake Paul, motherfucker.
Yeah, let's go. Jake, if you're listening to this, probably not, but we'll send him. We'll make a clip or something.
There we go.
Yeah. We'll tag his ass in this. The king of social media. If you want a real fight, Chris Camozzi's sitting here waiting for it.
If you want somebody your weight class, I'm in.
Yeah.
But otherwise, fuck you. I'll keep cashing checks and beating fucking whoever.
Real motherfuckers.
Yeah, real motherfuckers to fight.
Real fighters.
I do have a line of real motherfuckers, but
yeah.
at the same time, I'll smash them all.
But dude, more importantly, man, you've been such a good friend to me, man. Like I'm more excited for you and your career and just the solidification of it by having that strap. But we've only been friends a short time, and what you've done for me here at the podcast is fucking awesome, man. Like I couldn't ask for anything. I'd never have asked for anything. You're just a good friend. So cheers, brother. I always love having you. You're welcome here any fucking time. And let's go.
Both.
Let's go BKFC. Cruiserweight champion of the world. Jeremy, take us away.
Later.
On to the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Mountainside Podcast. If you haven't had a chance to do this already, please take a moment, follow, like, subscribe, or rate on whatever platform you catch the Mountainside Podcast at. If you'd like some more information on upcoming episodes, safety tips, access to all of our affiliates, and all the badass discounts that we get here at the Mountainside Podcast, check out themountainsidepodcast.com.